watching Fox Sports Net.
The Clydesdale, always symbolizing Anheuser-Busch. They, along with the Cardinals, announced today that they have a 20-year extension of their long-term marketing agreement. The naming rights of the stadium, Busch Stadium, following next year, the final year, here, I guess, at the old Busch Stadium. Can't quite say that yet. With Albert Pujols, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome back. You can see the tarp is behind us. We haven't even talked about that. We will have a delay at the start of this ball game. We're hearing that the rain will pass through around 8:30, so a delay at the start. But one of the keys for the ball game tonight for the Cardinals is shutting down Mr. Batista. He was terrific last night.
Yeah, and he kind of did it late, you know, like in the ninth inning to tie it, and then he hits his. This is the one that tied a 2-run shot. That was 199. Then he really punctuated number 200, a grand slam game winner, and the 8th grand slam of his career.
Well, you watch that stance, you wonder, number one, how does he hit like that? But here's a guy, Al, that hits for power too. He's done that historically in his career.
And we talked about it last night. At one time he hit over 30 home runs in a season. So, you know, you have to respect his power. You really have to respect these Montreal Expos. They may not know where they're going to play, or they're kind of the nomads, but really they are playing for a lot of pride.
Cardinals are up by 9.5 games in the Central Division. The rain is falling. We've got a crowd expected around 35,000 tonight, but a delay at the start of the game. We'll tell you about that when we come back. This is Cardinals baseball on FSN Midwest.
It's not just about saving money. It's about spending time, just dropping by and creating bonds rather than simply buying them. At Edward Jones, it's never just about investing. It's about knowing you and your dreams.
My every hope, my life, my world, it all begins with a dream.
Edward Jones, investing in you and your dreams.
When you have the HP Pavilion Notebook powered by the Intel Pentium 4 processor, you can take it with you wherever you go. And now you can get your notebook along with expansion base for just $10.99 after rebates. Connect, download, and print remotely with built-in wireless capability. Create mixed CDs and play DVDs when you customize your notebook with the DVD CD-RW combo drive. View photos and documents on the 15.4-inch widescreen display, or upgrade to the ZD7000 with larger 17-inch widescreen display and numeric keypad. Call now, and for a limited time, get this notebook and expansion base all for just $10.99 after rebates. Plus, get a free 15.4-inch display upgrade. And let us help you customize your notebook. The HP Pavilion Notebook with the Intel Pentium 4 processor. You can take it with you.
Don't wait for the future. Master it with a degree from Missouri Tech. Programming, electronics, networking. The fast-paced, hands-on training at Missouri Tech puts the future within your grasp today. Learn the skills. Master the technology. Behold your future. Call today, 314-569-3600 or 800-960-TECH or online at motech.edu. Master tomorrow at Missouri Tech, teaching the future today.
Started around 7:55, 7:56 or so. Dave McKay has the Cardinals lineup card as he meets with the umpires at home plate. There's a look at Barry Weinberg along with Albert Pujols in that Cardinal dugout. Big crowd here at Busch Stadium. And if you're just joining us and missing out, if you haven't heard, and joining us on the dish here in St. Louis, the Cardinals have announced beyond next year a 20-year extension for the naming rights for the new stadium. It will be Busch Stadium. And at the top of the second, Bill DeWitt will be with us up here in the booth. Tony Pontero from Anheuser-Busch, and we'll talk about the exciting news here in St. Louis. Jeff Suppan will get the start for the Cardinals. His numbers out, brought to you by Advance Auto Parts.
Well, he's perfect on the road, but yeah, he's only 3-6 at home. Had a little hiccup the last time out where he walked 10, but we'll put that to rest. He's allowed 3 runs or less in 11 of his last 14 starts and 15 of his 20 starts total, and he has recorded 12 quality starts, trying to become another 10-game winner.
Livan Hernandez will get the start for the Montreal Expos. It's a guy that can eat up some innings. The most innings pitched in the National League so far this season. A look at the lineup for Montreal. Brad Wilkerson had a home run last night. Big night. He'll lead things off, followed by Chavez, the center fielder. Then Jose Vidro, the switch hitting second baseman. The hero from last night is Tony Batista with 6 RBIs, a pair of home runs. Then Termel Sledge, Alex Gonzalez, Ron Callaway, Brian Schneider, and Livan Hernandez. Very good hitting pitcher, hitting .240 on the year. We saw him pinch hit in the ball game late last night. Drying agent going on the field just behind home plate. Little touch-up area. A look at the Cardinals defense brought to you by Auto Tires. We said last night Marlon Anderson will get 2 starts in this series. This is number 2. He's in left. Edmonds in center. John Mabry is in right. Roland Renteria, Womack, and Pujols on the infield. Mike Matheny is behind the plate. Suppan on the mound. Your Auto Tire defense. Mabry a start with Sanders banged up. Probably won't see action tonight. The Cardinals are hoping, fingers crossed, hoping to get him in a ball game tomorrow. Last time we're going to take a look at these numbers, and this is his no decision on July 28th, his last start against the Cincinnati Reds. He walked a career high 10 in that game. He struck out 2. He was an out away. He went 4 2/3. He was just an out away from getting those 5 innings in, but he couldn't do it, and he's looking to bounce back tonight. Brad Wilkerson playing first base tonight will lead things off. Delay of 47 minutes in the first pitch.
And
it is a ball.
I got a little note from John Archibald, and he thinks if you think Suppan had a bad game the other time, he talks about a St. Louis Browns pitcher who walked 16. It went 13 innings. And he walked 16 Red Sox in one game.
Well, those 10 walks by Suppan are most by a Cardinals pitcher since Steve Carlton, lefty, allowed 10 in a 10-1 loss back in 1971 in San Francisco. That's the last time we saw a Cardinal do that. 1-1 pitch. This is just inside to Wilkerson. Was 4 for 6 last night with that home run. One of the things that we picked up with Suppan during our telecast from Cincinnati with Suppan was that he was rushing the ball towards the plate. Now remember, Bruce Fleming was behind the plate, didn't help him out with that strike zone. It was tiny, and it was tiny on both sides, but Suppan walked 10 in that game. He said, I knew I was bad, but I wasn't that bad.
No, he really wasn't. And that's why Dave Duncan, you worry about a couple little things, but you kind of put that one aside.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Ground ball, base hit up the middle. Leadoff hit for Brad Wilkerson. Not a prototypical leadoff man. Just hitting .244, not a great on-base percentage, and does have a little power, but he leads this one off with his 5th hit in this series.
And that's going to be frequent. Every time a ball hits that grass, it'll probably be put out of play.
The batter now is Chavez, center fielder. Came off the bench last night.
Got a base hit and a pinch hitting roll. Nearly a 300 hitter.
Very good speed, so Scott Rowland will play in at third base. Couple of steps in on the grass. Pujols holding it first. That pitch is a strike. Ryan Runge is behind the plate. Bill Hahn at first. Gary Darling at second. Mark Carlson is the third base umpire. "47-minute rain delay. The start of this ball game. Next pitch by Suppan, bunted foul. So count of no balls, 2 strikes.
His 13 games have been very hot, as well as his teammates. They've been playing good baseball.
Rowland can back up a bit at third base and check on the runner. 0-2 is the count. Angels agree to terms on a minor league contract with veteran Andres Galarraga. Last year with San Francisco, hit .301, 12 home runs, 42 RBIs. Chavez chases a ball. So Andres Galarraga, who was diagnosed with a recurrence of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which caused him to miss the entire '99 season. Apparently is healthy, had a transplant in February to eliminate the disease from his body, and hoping to get back in the major leagues. So Galarraga agrees to terms with the Anaheim Angels. This one has popped up. Shallow center, backing up Renteria.
When we were in San Francisco, there was a little note in the paper that his agent had called the Giants to tell him that he was cancer-free and looking for a job. So that's great news.
Real good guy. Galarraga, a native of Venezuela. Here's Jose Vidro. Really credited Don Baylor with some of his time here in St. Louis and of course in Colorado for helping turn around his career. Vidro is a switch hitter. Cardinals intentionally passed him in the ball game last night to get to Bautista, and he made him pay. First pitch is a ball. Vidro is a two-time All-Star. There's Bautista on deck. Suppan would love a double play. The 1-0 pitch is a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Montreal not aggressive here early on with their leadoff man on base.
They have 62 steals on the season. The Cardinals have 71. And nobody runs anymore.
1-1 pitch. A little up and in on Vidro. Signed an extension with the Montreal Expos. No matter where they wind up next year, as we visited with Elliot Price in our pregame show, they don't know. He's their play-by-play voice. Some talk that they could be back in Montreal. They don't know about ownership. Will it be owned by Major League Baseball next year? Could be Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C. Vidro, $30 million extension. There goes the runner. Pitch is hit to Roland, so they avoid the double play and quickly Roland back to the bag at third. 2 outs. Starting the runner avoids the double play, and here's Bautista.
Now the Cardinals last night, it appeared that the game plan was to pitch him inside, but yet there were a couple of them that didn't end up inside.
We showed last night that he will lean out and lean into the pitch as Marquis was in line for that victory last night. The lone save by Isringhausen, then Danny Herron lost it in the 12th. 2 outs. And the first pitch from Suppan. This is inside.
Two guys battled quite a bit in the American League.
Chicago will play later tonight at Colorado. Houston trailing in their ball game 3-0 to Houston. That's in the top of the 4th. 2 balls, no strikes. Suppan wants a new baseball. Cardinals will welcome the Mets to town this weekend. And the Mets are 50 and 55, 8 games out. 8 in front of Montreal. Expos are in the cellar of the East Division in the National League, 16 games back. But they are 8-2 in their last 10. This is a team that's played very good baseball as of late.
Excellent off-speed pitch as Bautista way out in front. Not a lot of guys you can stay in one location. You got to move the ball around and change speeds.
The 2-1. Roland bobbles, settles, can make up with that great arm, and a pick by Pujols over at first. Expos strand a man. Cardinals coming up in their half of the first.
For outstanding comfort, luxury, and location, the big news is the Radisson Hotel and Suites, St. Louis downtown. Our commitment to providing every guest with a pleasant and relaxing stay has led to the completion of a $20 million renovation. Every room features a 27-inch TV and a high-speed internet connection. Dine at the magnificent Union Grill overlooking the Gateway Arch. Unwind in the Atrium Lounge, or simply relax surrounded by our people who know what hospitality is. The new Radisson Hotel and Suites, St. Louis downtown, just minutes from everything.
At Steak and Shake, we serve old-fashioned milkshakes. They're hand-dipped, made with real milk, and topped with whipped cream and a cherry. Other places...
If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
Now we'll pour any two of your favorite milkshakes into a single glass, thereby raising the thorny philosophical question, is the glass half chocolate or half banana? Introducing new side-by-side milkshakes.
Steak and Shake.
The Thoroughbreds are back at Fairmount Park. So get up, get out, get back to the track. Tuesday afternoons play horse hooky at 1 p.m. with great grandstand specials. Get Ultra Thursday nights with live music, dancing, and an all-you-can-eat pizza, salad, and chicken wing buffet, and Michelob Ultra bottles for $1. Friday nights, the party at the park is the hottest party in town. And Saturday nights, there's no better place to play than Fairmount Park. Winning starts here.
Hernandez has a record that's under 500 at 8-10, but Al, this guy can be one of the toughest pitchers in all of baseball when he's on.
You're absolutely right. He leads the league with those 6 complete games. He's got 2 of those are shutouts. He's a leading candidate for a Gold Glove award. He's perfect in the field. He ranks among league leaders with starts, tied for first. This is 24th. He's 9th in strikeouts, 124, and currently leads all of Major League Baseball with his 165 and a third innings pitched.
A look at Tony La Russa's lineup. Tony Womack will lead things off, followed by Renteria, then Pujols, Scott Rowland, Edmonds, Mabry, Marlon Anderson, Mike Matheny, and Jeff Suppan batting 9th for the Redbirds. Tony Womack 0 for 4 last night. Third baseman Batista in on the grass, and the first pitch is up and away. This guy is an innings eater. Livan Hernandez. Cardinals have expressed interest in Hernandez last couple of years, but he stayed in Montreal, pitching for some below 500 teams and still putting up some pretty decent numbers.
People look at his size and they get a little fearful. But the record says, you know, that he's got durability. He's one of 5 big league pitchers to make at least 30 starts the last 6 seasons. Posted 15 wins last year and has won 10 or more games in 4 straight seasons.
One of the things that he can do, Al, is change speeds. Like that fastball. Womack wasn't ready for it. Couldn't pull the trigger on the outside corner. And it's a strikeout. So 1 out, and it brings in Renteria.
Very first pitch that Tony Womack sees, watch the third baseman. And Batista's practicing everything.
What was that?
That was a pop-up. He was checking the sky. You know, imaginary. You got, you know, some people have.
You have to be ready for all situations.
Some people have imaginary rabbits. Some people have friends.
But what was that? I've never seen that.
He was getting a pop-up. In case they hit a pop-up, he was preparing to look up into that beautiful sky.
1-0 is the count on the Cardinals shortstop Renteria. Pujols on deck.
It's anticipation.
Ground ball, diving stop. Gonzalez gets up. What a play. Takes a hit away from Edgar Renteria. We know that guy could play. Alex Gonzalez, the former Cub, former Blue Jay. Their defense brought to you by Auto Tire. Sledge, Chavez, Callaway in the outfield. Batista, Gonzalez, Vidro, Wilkerson on the infield, and Brian Schneider behind the plate. This is a dandy from number 11.
Well, they know they're going to get good defense from Gonzalez. They hope he contributes offensively. And the Cubs are willing to sacrifice that defense for more offensive production.
Albert Pujols, first pitch. Tailing fastball for a strike. Pujols digs in with 30 home runs, 77 RBIs.
You watch Livan, and he just little this, little that. Seems like no effort.
That's what makes him kind of fun to watch, because he's got about 5 different versions of a curveball. He'll drop down, he'll mix in speeds. He's got a decent fastball to keep you honest.
He's tied with Diego Segui, one of my teammates, for 6th most wins among Cuban-born pitchers, 92. David Segui is the son of Diego, and Diego is a right-handed relief pitcher and one of the nicest gentlemen you'll ever meet. Still makes his home in Kansas City.
His son is too.
Yeah,
David Segui,
David
very
is
good guy, and last season he was with Baltimore came through with his son.
And I would challenge you to try and get into a arm wrestling or just a handshake with Diego. Crush it.
David Segui is pretty big himself too.
He's much bigger than his father. His father is just a bull.
2-out walk to Albert Pujols brings in Scott Rowland. Hope you enjoyed our piece on Scott Rowland during the rain delay on Cardinals Magazine. Talking about his love of this city and the fans playing here at Busch Stadium.
Nice piece on Tony La Russa and the ARF program. People can understand why he's so dedicated to that, and what a neat facility.
It's amazing what he's been able to do, helping out people across the country. Tony La Russa with that facility, and hope people can see that piece and maybe listen into his radio show on the weekends and have a better understanding what kind of guy he is. I was talking to him yesterday about that, Al, the fact that radio show has been a very good thing, and hopefully he feels more connected with the fans of St. Louis because of it.
Well, I think the fans have an opportunity to take advantage of that and understand what Tony's all about and how prepared he is and what the thought process with every decision.
There's that sweeping curveball. Gonzalez there. Rowland retired. Redbird strand a man. We move to the top of the second. No score.
Everywhere you look, you see St. Louis baseball and savings at Schnucks.
Like supreme pepperoni, 3 meat or cheese, dining in, 6 cheese rising crust pizzas, buy one get one free. Great for snacking, lunches, or outings. All varieties of Schnucks potato chips are buy one get one free. All varieties of Country Time or Kool-Aid drink mix are 2 for $5. And Colgate toothbrushes and Colgate toothpaste are now just $1.99 each.
Schnucks, we make it easy.
Lose fat, increase energy, reshape your body in record time with Fitness Made Simple's new 45-minute fat-burning workout.
There are no tricky dance moves, no high-impact gyrations, just lightweight training done at a heart-pumping cardio pace to build lean muscle and burn pounds of fat.
Work out at home with fitness celebrity John Bastow doing exercises to sculpt your chest, back, shoulders, arms, legs, and abs. Call now or order online at fitnessmadesimple.com.
Fitness Made Simple, bringing real results to real people.
If you, like me, are diabetic, I have some great news for you. Medicare will now pay for your diabetic supplies, and you can get them faster and easier than ever before.
Preferred RX is all about saving you time, money, and hassles. We'll take care of everything, even filing your Medicare claims and shipping.
And our certified diabetes educator is available to answer your questions. Give us a call. I know you'll be glad you did.
Preferred RX will ship your diabetic supplies directly to your home with no upfront costs. Call today.
You're watching Fox Sports Net.
Today we are pleased to announce that this relationship will continue as strong as ever, and for the next 20 years the new stadium being built over my right shoulder will be called Busch Stadium.
Big day here in downtown St. Louis. That's Tony Ponturo, Vice President of Global Media and Sports Marketing at Anheuser-Busch, and Bill DeWitt is also with us here in the booth, the chairman of the board of the St. Louis Cardinals. Gentlemen, welcome to the booth, and I guess first of all, congratulations. Tony, I'll start with you. What a historic day for Anheuser-Busch.
It really was. We're real proud. It's been a 50-year tradition with our company calling the different ballparks that the Cardinals have played in Busch Stadium, and now we know it's going to be another 20 years, so we're very excited.
Jeff Suppan back to work here in the second inning. Termel Sledge is the hitter, 2 balls and a strike. Mr. DeWitt, historic day for the Cardinals.
Great day for the Cardinals. We've been looking forward to this day, and we can't think of a name we would rather have than Busch Stadium after all these years.
When you talk about the fans, and I'm a guy from St. Louis, so I grew up here, the thing I know about the Cardinals I relate to is Busch Stadium. It just wouldn't have sounded right without hearing Busch Stadium, and that's the home of the Cardinals. You guys agree?
Well, we agree, and all the respect for Bill DeWitt and his team to appreciate that. Obviously, with the new ownership of the Cardinals from the many years that Anheuser-Busch owned the Cardinals and Busch Stadium. And we wanted to continue to be a great corporate citizen in St. Louis and a great marketer of the Cardinals. And Bill had, I think, a similar objective, and we were so glad that it worked out.
There you see the on the monitor, Busch Stadium. The tradition continues. Final year for what can we say? The old Busch Stadium, which we're playing in right now. I was kidding with Al about that. Will be next year. The new Busch Stadium the year after. There's a strikeout for Suppan. First out here in this second inning. Exciting day for the fans, and I had a chance to visit with the fans as well. What's been the reaction for both you guys in talking with some of the people that are here at the ballpark?
Well, we had 3,000 of our employees at about 3 o'clock today, which Bill was there at, and 12 of the St. Louis Cardinals, and Tony La Russa and Jocketty, and the reaction was unbelievable. And I think the thing to appreciate is that our company didn't take it for granted. Our employees were just as excited as if it was a new announcement that had never been a Busch Stadium. So everyone's very excited, and that's key for us.
Barehanded opportunity, bobbled just a bit by Rolen. Do or die play, tough play, and that's a base hit for Alex Gonzalez. Mr. DeWitt, how long did this take to come to fruition, seeing what we had this afternoon?
Well, it took a bit of time to get it accomplished. It's a complex arrangement and involves radio, TV, signage, naming rights. So, but it went once we got going, it moved pretty quickly, and both sides wanted it to happen, and we're thrilled that it happened when it did.
I know our fans are curious about your reaction to this team of 2004. How about the way they're playing 9.5 games up?
It's very exciting. We need to keep going and look forward to hopefully being in the playoffs and have a great postseason.
Ron Callaway is the hitter, right fielder for the Expos. First pitch of ball. He was 2 for 6 last night. And we are visiting with Bill DeWitt, chairman of the board of the St. Louis Cardinals, Tony Pontero, vice president of global media and sports marketing at Anheuser-Busch. Folks across the country tuning in on the dish around Major League Baseball around the country are recognizing that Busch Stadium will have a 20-year naming rights extension beyond next season for the brand new ballpark here in downtown St. Louis. And Mr. DeWitt, how about the construction of the ballpark? Is everything on time at this point?
You know, we started construction January 17th, and we fortunately are now on schedule, and actually a little bit ahead of schedule. And I think the early time in a ballpark is the most critical because you never know what kind of environmental you're going to run into and that sort of thing. So we feel very good about it right now.
Many bumps in the road so far? It sounds like it's been on cruise control.
Well, I don't know about cruise control, but it's we're well under construction, and we feel good about it. In fact, right after the announcement, the press conference, we could hear the pile drivers going again, so we couldn't really talk or hear anything. So they're working hard.
How about for Anheuser-Busch, Tony? What does this mean for the company to be affiliated with the St. Louis Cardinals all these years?
Well, we both have very proud heritages. We both have a quality product. We both compete to win and be in first place, and so we're very similar in those respects. We both are important parts of this community in St. Louis. We want to be a good corporate citizen and also sell some beer, and to associate with the St. Louis Cardinals and their image and their quality, hopefully that rubs off with our association and makes people, when they want to enjoy a nice cold beer, think of our products.
2-2 pitch fouled away. Besides the naming extension, what else goes into the agreement between you two?
Well, as Bill said, this gives us alcohol beverage exclusivity for all the television, obviously with Fox, and the radio, and the signage in the stadium, and the use of the logo and promotion. So if there's something that the Cardinals are involved in from a marketing standpoint and a visibility to the fans in St. Louis and around the area, we're going to associate with. So it's a full deal and a full marketing complement to what we do.
Full count here on Ron Callaway. On deck is Brian Schneider. 20-year extension announced today between the Cardinals and Anheuser-Busch, the naming rights of the new stadium, and a big 3-2 pitch coming up here to Callaway, the right fielder. Pitching has been amazing this year for the Cardinals, Mr. DeWitt, and I'm not so sure that everybody expected the Cardinals, number one, to be this good and the pitching to be this good, but it's been exceptional.
It really has. Somebody asked me today, did you expect the team to have a 10-game lead at this point? Of course we didn't. We knew we had a lot of talent, and it's all come together. Tony's done a great job. And fortunately, couple of the question marks on the pitching staff have really not been question marks. Chris Carpenter and Jason Marquis, who last year, Chris, of course, was hurt, and Jason was at AAA. But Jason's a real talent. He's 25 years old, a former first-round draft choice. And Chris was a first-round draft choice as well. So we knew we had talent there.
called. Third strike. Throw to second is not in time. So Gonzalez steals the base. 2 outs and a runner at second base. Let's talk about postseason play. Not quite there yet, but how excited do you get with this? And you've been around the game of baseball since you were a youngster, but your juices get flowing, I'm sure, around this time of the year.
No question. It's very exciting thinking about it, and it's hard to believe we've got almost 2 months left in the regular season. But these games are important. Every game is important, and we have a great lead, but we need to keep playing hard, and I know Tony's conveyed that to the team. But we're excited to be in the hunt for postseason and be favored at this point to get into postseason. So, you know, postseason baseball is nerve-wracking and gut-wrenching, but it's where you want to be.
I guess every game, though, for an owner is gut-wrenching and nerve-wracking for the most part.
No question about it. We went into last night's game 10.5 ahead, and you know, you'd think, well, it wasn't that big a game, but you hate to lose a game like that. So every night is you know, you want to win.
Is this the best job, in your opinion, that Tony and his staff have done since '96 when they got here?
Tony really has done a wonderful job this year. He's a great manager. He's a Hall of Fame manager. He's way up there on the list for career wins, and you know, we've won 4 divisions in 8 years, so it's hard to surpass that. But I think this probably is the best job that I've seen him do, and I don't know what he would say to that, but he would probably say he's doing what he ordinarily does, but he's just pulled all the right strings and gotten so much out of all the players.
Schneider an RBI double. Expos on top 1-0. It brings in Livan Hernandez. Tony not happy with that pitch. Up in the zone and drilled by Brian Schneider down that right field line. And we take a look at the replay. Pitch up just a little bit in the zone from Jeff Suppan, and Schneider hammers it for an RBI double. His 28th on the year as far as RBIs are concerned. And now here's Livan Hernandez, very good hitting pitcher. Tony, how often do you come down to the ballpark?
I try to get down as often as I can. You know, it's probably about 20-25 dates a year, and but you know, it's a great experience. It's easy to get to, and you know, the fans here are so great.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. How many times do you hear your customers say, all right, Anheuser-Busch just so many times associated with Cardinals baseball? How much feedback do you get in that regard?
We get it all the time. I mean, it's almost synonymous with the Cardinals and our association, and you know, that's something that we respect and appreciate very much.
What a play there by Scott Rowland. Wow, dandy. Gentlemen, congratulations. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Thanks a lot, Dan.
You bet.
Good to be with you.
You bet. Bill DeWitt, chairman of the board of the St. Louis Cardinals. Tony Pontero, vice president of global media and sports marketing at Anheuser-Busch. 1-0 Montreal.
At Alternatives Insurance, we offer all types of insurance, including auto, home, life, and commercial.
We'll work with you to design a policy that meets your needs and your budget.
Let us do the shopping around for you to find you the best coverage.
Alternatives Insurance with 7 convenient locations.
There's a new way to save on tires at Auto Tire. Right now, get a $50 rebate when you buy any set of 4 Michelin tires at Auto Tire. Hurry, offer ends soon. For special savings on top of our lowest bottom line price, you ought to go to Auto Tire.
Weekend's here! Off to the beach. My best buddy and 2 girls. We hope we're in reach. The sun's coming out. It's getting hot. Well, what do we have here? Jackpot! A quick stop at Mickey D's would be key. Forget going in. It's time for Plan B.
Give your wallet a vacation at McDonald's, where just $1 buys you a delicious quarter-pound big and tasty sandwich.
Introducing a new level of performance, the Acura TL. From the first glance, the difference is obvious. With its bold, sleek lines and sporty stance, the TL is a force to be reckoned with. Powered by a 22-valve VTEC engine, the Acura TL delivers an exhilarating yet surprisingly smooth ride. Inside, the TL puts an impressive array of technology at your fingertips and at your command. Come drive one at your Gateway Acura dealer today and experience why, with the Acura TL, power and luxury are not an option. They're standard.
Hidalgo and the Mets pay a visit to Busch as they face the powerful league-leading Cardinals. The battle begins Friday at 6:30 on FSN Midwest.
Bottom of the second, 1-0 Montreal from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Hope you enjoyed our interview with Mr. DeWitt and Tony Pontero of Anheuser-Busch. Batter will be Jim Edmonds, followed by Mabry, then Marlon Anderson. Cardinals trailing by the score of 1-0. You were off, Mike, but how about that play there by Scott Rowland to end the inning?
And a little nifty backhand, and Livan Hernandez was about a third of the way when he was gunned down by the gunslinger.
We just come to expect that.
Yes, we do.
Cardinals stranded a man in the bottom of the first, and here's Edmonds.
And we expect Jimmy to hit a home run nightly.
Seems like that, doesn't it? Edmonds has his average up to 303, sitting on 29 home runs. First pitch misses outside from Hernandez.
He's homered in 5 of the last 7 games. His batting average is the highest it's been since April. He's hit over 400 in the last 24 games.
Curveball misses inside by Hernandez. 2-0.
There's a lot of extra base hits. 59% of his hits have been extra base hits. That leads the National League, and he's second in slugging percentage now.
Here's a 2-0 pitch to Edmonds. Misses in. He was part of our Cardinals magazine program during the rain delay, talking about the catch in Cincinnati. 3-0 is the count on Edmonds. John Mabry on deck. Brian Runge takes his time calling that strike, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. And so umpire 3 generations.
Right. Edmonds reaches for it, grounds it towards second base. Bedro there. 1 up, 1 down. Hernandez was able to get Edmonds to reach. That's why he saw the ground ball. And now it's John Mabry. Mabry is starting right field tonight, hitting .306 on the year. Like we said before, the Cardinals would like to see Reggie Sanders possibly play tomorrow. But even if he was available, you'd probably see Mabry because he's 8 for 15 against Hernandez.
Yeah, it's amazing sometimes.
You just see the ball against certain pitchers.
Yeah, you know, your numbers just don't really correlate, or no real rhyme or reason as to why you hit somebody so well.
That was quick.
There's your guest. And you know what? They got pretty good seats.
Pretty good seats. Quickly down there in the front row.
Let me ask you a little trivia question.
You scare me with these.
Name what owner's jersey is in the Hall of Fame?
I would say Beck.
What?
Mabry hits it high in the air down the right field line. Callaway over. That ball is out of play.
What baseball owner's jersey is in Cooperstown Baseball's Hall of Fame?
It has to be something with Mr. Beck. I will go with Bill DeWitt because
why?
He was our guest, and I'm assuming it has to do with his time and the family roots in Cincinnati with the Reds.
No.
Mabry waits on the pitch. Now, Bill DeWitt was a...
You're correct until you start talking about Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense with Beck.
Right.
So it's got to be a Bat Boy jersey of some sort.
That's right. His family owned the Browns.
See, I was piecing it all together.
You're getting a lot of help from the truck.
No.
Oh, come on. I know better.
No, I'm telling you.
All right. But Bill DeWitt was the bat boy for the Brownies at the time when Eddie Goodell joined the Browns for that one at bat, and he was so small no uniform would fit him other than the bat boy uniform, and consequently that uniform was taken to the Hall of Fame after the Eddie Goodell, the midget, had that one infamous at bat and then ruled that he was the contract voided.
Good change up there by Hernandez. Anderson out in front. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, I like that trivia question. That's a good one.
I'm not a fan of trivia either.
You're not?
No. Because I don't know any answers.
You're good on the Affleck trivia question. 1-2 on Marlon Anderson. That came in at 87 miles an hour. Probably looked about 100 after the first 2 pitches were changeups.
That's it. You know, that's the mastery of pitching, is to throw something they're not looking at, change speed, change locations.
Set up on the outside corner. Anderson grounds to Hernandez. Very good fielding pitcher. And a double play. Nicely turned out there at second base. We play 2. Expos on top.
Sometimes you just feel like having some eggs, sausage, biscuits, and gravy. Too bad you don't have any eggs, sausage, biscuits, or gravy. The loaded biscuit and gravy breakfast bowl with eggs and sausage at Hardee's.
Just like Busch Stadium is the place to go to see great baseball, Marshall Wireless is the place to go to get your great deal on Nextel phones.
If your wireless plan is worn out as my hat, then call Marshall Wireless today and bring your phone number to Nextel. And Marshall Wireless will give you a free car adapter with every activation.
Make the right call. Call Marshall Wireless today.
And remember, there are a lot of Deppies in town, but there's only one Marshall.
Visit any of the 9 Marshall Wireless locations today, or they will come to your business.
A special announcement from the Bargain Network. You can buy cars for as low as $500. Choose from thousands of cars repossessed and seized by the U.S. Customs, IRS, FBI, and private organizations. Call 800-831-6931. Foreclosed homes and distressed properties are selling for as low as $199 a month. HUDs, VAs, and FHAs, repos, and more.
Through the Bargain Network, I got my dream car, and I saved a lot of money.
New cars and homes are being added every day. For listings in your area, call now. 800-831-6931. Call now.
You're watching Fox Sports Net.
Saturday, the Mets in town. 12:20 will be the first pitch. That's August 7th. And the first 12,000 kids ages 12 and under with a paid admission receive a Build-A-Bear Workshop Fredbird. Fredbird will have his own bird condo featuring Grant's Farm and their 50-year anniversary. And to kick off Build-A-Bear Workshop Day at the ballpark, Reggie Sanders will be at the Build-A-Bear Workshop in the Galleria on July 9th from 11 until 1. So again, that is this Saturday. Mike Piazza and the Mets coming to town. Let me look up the ticket information.
Bunch of tickets available.
38,000 have been sold, so plenty of good seats available. We've got the same number sold for Friday and 36,000 sold for Sunday. So good seats coming up. And you're going to hear us talk an awful lot about this date, Friday, August 20th. Pittsburgh will be in town as Brad Wilkerson hits it foul. This is the only afternoon weekday game that is left, because this is the game that's the makeup on that doubleheader. So Friday, August 20th, you've got a doubleheader. Second game begins at 7:10. And in that first game, only 21,000 have been sold. That's the makeup for May 25th. And the number to call is always 221-2400. So that's a good way to start your weekend. Come on down to the ballpark on a Friday afternoon.
We're televising both those games?
We are. We'll be on FSN Midwest. Good fastball, 1-2. So that's that doubleheader on August 20th. If you want to stay around, hang around in downtown St. Louis, and then at 7:10 see the second game. Only 26,000 have been sold for that game. Ground ball. Albert's there for out number 1.
Jeff pitching very well tonight. I thought the base hit by Gonzalez, a little swinging bunt down the third baseline. I thought Scott had a little more time than what he thought. Could have maybe not tried to barehand it, put it in the glove, and still made the throw because of that exceptional throwing arm. But barehanded, tried it and misconnected. It was an infield single.
Here's Chavez with Roland playing in on the grass a step or two.
Very easily. Still could be a tie, scoreless game.
Curveball misses up and away. It's a dandy play there by their pitcher Livan Hernandez to end the second inning. And you talked about it, very well could be the Gold Glove winner as far as pitchers are concerned this year. On that kind of play, the pitcher has got to lead the middle infielder.
I don't know if you remember Cubs pitcher Rick Russell.
Sure.
But Rick was a big guy and overweight. And people thought you could take advantage of him, but he was an exceptional athlete.
Into center. Edmonds on the move. On the move. Can he get it? No. Over his head, a one-hopper and a one-out double for Chavez. Edmonds playing shallow with the good speed of Chavez, always playing shallow anyway, and couldn't catch up.
A lot like Livan Hernandez, the big man. Looks a little bulky, but they field the position, hit, and do all kinds of things. Talking about hitting, ball out away from it. Chavez, you really don't think with much power. He does have 5 home runs, but hits it to the deepest part of the field over the head of Edmonds, and that doesn't happen often.
Here's Vidro with 1 out. RBI opportunity. Has 46 on the year. Fastball up and away for ball 1. Hernandez is coming off a 3-hit shutout and a win at Florida. We really haven't talked about this. He's allowed just 6 runs in his last 3 starts. So the Cardinals are seeing a hot pitcher. Mentioned that briefly during our open. Now Suppan, his last 3 starts have been a little shaky, but Hernandez going in the other direction. 1 ball, 1 strike on Vidro.
3 starts ago, he won at Cincinnati. Then he lost here against San Francisco, and then the no decision, but he walked all the batters. Eventual Cardinal victory last Wednesday. But that loss he had on July 23rd stopped a 4-game winning streak.
I know fans were curious as to why Tony La Russa last night had Danny Herron in the ball game, and he did have Julian Tavares available in the bullpen. Tavares apparently had a sore Achilles. They did not want to pitch him, but he is okay to go tonight, so that's why you didn't see him. There's Danny Herron, a couple of walks and the grand slam he allowed in the 12th. Two pitch. Slap foul out of play. Scott Rovac, the Cardinal photographer, gets a chance to sit next to our ace guy down there. That's James Boyd. Hi, James. Because Montreal not televising back home, so that camera spot wide open. So we put Scott Rovac down there.
All right, which camera is more expensive?
Rovac's. I don't know if the guys at Fox Sports Net want to hear that, but his is really expensive. He's been doing that a long time. Strikeout, and this one is number 3 on the night.
Let's see. Off speed pitch, bottom falls out of it.
And the batter is Batista. Grounded to third his first time up. Stranded a man. 2 for 8 in this series. 2 hits have been home runs. Chavez the runner at second base. 2 outs. 1-0 Montreal here in the third. The pitch is a ball low and away. That is drilled into deep left field. That's trouble, but going back, making the play is Marlon Anderson on the track out there in left. Expos on top, 1-0.
Grand opening. The new Dobbs at Hampton and Chippewa. And now at Dobbs, purchase any 4 new Michelin passenger or light truck tires and receive a $50 mail-in rebate. This offer's good only through August 7th, so get into Dobbs today.
You have tests to take, papers to write, and no clue where summer went. Now you can have the HP Pavilion desktop powered by the Intel Pentium 4 processor with monitor and HP DeskJet printer, just $4.99 after rebates. Create more colorful papers using your own digital photos with the help of HP Image Zone software. Listen to your favorite CDs or upgrade your Pavilion with a CD or DVD burner. Show your sense of style when you choose a space-saving 15 or 17-inch flat panel display. Call now, and for a limited time, get this PC, monitor, and HP DeskJet printer for just $4.99 after rebates. The HP Pavilion desktop with the Intel Pentium 4 processor. You have everything you need right in front of you.
Introducing the Sports List.
With Summer Sanders.
The new show that counts down anything
and everything
in the world of sports.
The Sports List, weeknights on FSN.
Fox Sports Net is bringing the superstars of poker together for a tournament that will finally determine who is the best of the best. The Superstars of Poker, Sunday, August 15th at 9, only on FSN Midwest. Batter is Mike Matheny. Montreal out hitting the Cardinals early on 4-1. Lead the ball game 1-0. Matheny, Suppan, and Tony Womack for the Cardinals. Their half of the third.
He's got a little 4-game hitting streak going, 6 for 16 with the home run.
You're a busy guy, Al. You are working hard on the Hungarian Classic this weekend. Every time I turn around, you're getting something new for the Hungo Classic.
Yeah.
That'll be this Sunday and Monday. 1 ball, 1 strike on Mike Matheny. There's a base hit. That one's for Frida Lopino. Dale works in our truck. Her son, Frida, is 78 today. So happy birthday to Frida Lopino, 78 years of age, 78 years young.
Yeah, that's great. Had a nice talking about the Legends Classic. Nice letter from Nancy Artisan, Jackson, Missouri, saying that sorry she can't come, but she's grew up overseas, a product of the military family.
There's a sacrifice. They charge with the first baseman. A chance there. That's 1. That's 2. Right at the last second before he squared, Wilkerson, who was holding the runner, charged down the line. Suppan, not realizing that, bunting towards first, which normally would be a good bunt, but right to Wilkerson, and they turn their second double play of the night.
Well, they look like they're playing very headset baseball. And this lady, Nancy, grew up listening to the Baltimore Orioles, and big Brooks Robinson fan. There you see the charge by the first baseman, and see Matheny tries to go in hard, goes after the shortstop, trying to disrupt the return throw. That they were able to make it anyway.
Top of the order, Tony Womack looks at a strike. Tony's 0 for 5 in this series. So nicely done by Wilkerson. Throws left-handed, much easier play for that first baseman. Throwing left-handed on that bunt down the line.
Pounce on it, and then you don't have to turn your body or anything. You can just make a sidearm throw or come over the top, looking right at the play developing.
Ball outside, 1-2 on Womack. I don't know about you, but it's just felt and feels a little flat here at the ballpark. Last night was like that, even with the Cardinals up. And tonight has that feel too. Womack down the right field line, pulls it, foul and out of play.
Well, I think that was the one thing Tony La Russa said to me is, I said, you could just sense the team that the Expos were going to come back, and he said, yeah, and he said, I thought they would run out of gas, how hot and humid it was, but they had enough left in the tank to tie it in the ninth and win it in extra innings.
2-2. Frank Robinson has got his club playing well.
They're playing very well. That's all a manager can ask.
Ground ball up the middle, base hit for Tony Womack.
Come out, play hard for 9 innings or more if it goes to extra innings, and take your chances there. It's amazing how these kids from Montreal, or what they've had to endure and put up with. They don't seem like they're complaining. They're hungry ball players.
The amount of travel that they go through is got to be the worst among any professional franchise, not just in baseball, but teams traveling in basketball or hockey. Football is not even close to what these guys go through. And they are all over the place.
I guess you would think under normal circumstances Seattle would have a similar hectic schedule, but now when you put a third of their home games in Puerto Rico, I mean, that's where it separates them from anybody else.
A lot of people around their organization felt last year they had a legitimate shot getting into the postseason via the wild card, but they hit that final month of the season, they hit a wall. A lot of players were just worn out with all the travel and all the games. That's something you'll see from Hernandez. He's got a couple of different moves over there to first base.
Big man, but quick feet, and that's the key to pickoffs. And a lot of times guys will go on head moves. That's why he threw his head back like that to deceive the runner.
Renteria fooled by the pitch, took something off it. This guy pitches. There are throwers out there. Then you hear about guys that pitch, and he pitches. There's a difference.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why he is consistently winning.
Edgar, base hit. Now a chance for Albert Pujols with runners at first and second and 2 out. May have been fooled on the pitch on an outside delivery, but stuck with it.
And a breaking ball, but just got enough to reach out and one arm that ball. I don't think he was so much fooled. It's just that Levon didn't get it far enough away, and he was able to still get a piece of it and get enough of it to drive it through the infield.
Pujols walked his first time. As we mentioned before, home run number 30 last night. Schneider calling out some defensive signals. We've got Scott rolling on deck. This is where this lineup becomes awfully dangerous.
Exactly right. You know, you watch a lineup and you see your outs, but even with 2 outs here and the next 3 guys coming up, there's nothing easy.
Strike on the outside corner. Paints the corner.
He changes speed so well, and you alluded to it earlier that, you know, after a series of off-speed pitches, and then he'll throw his fastball, he just jumps at you.
Strike 2.
88, 89 miles an hour, but it looks like 95. Everything was with minimal effort. Great numbers there for Albert.
On 0-2. First time we've really seen him slow down a curveball like that. It's almost like an ephus pitch.
Yep.
With the speed that you see.
Suppan talking to Matheny back there.
Count of 1 ball, 2 strikes. The batter, Albert Pujols. Levon Hernandez came up with the Marlins for just 1 game back in 1996. In '97, championship team, he went 9-3. Former teammate with Edgar Renteria.
Big part of the postseason.
The 1-2 pitch. Pujols called, third strike. That's pitching. Pujols strands 2. Cardinals have left 3 on. 4th inning coming up.
Introducing a new level of performance, the accurate TL. From the first glance, the difference is obvious. With its bold, sleek lines and sporty stance, the TL is a force to be reckoned with. Powered by a 22-valve VTEC engine, the accurate TL delivers an exhilarating yet surprisingly smooth ride. Inside, the TL puts an impressive array of technology at your fingertips and at your command. Come drive one at your Gateway Acura dealer today and experience why, with the accurate TL, power and luxury are not an option. They're standard.
Don't wait for the future. Master it with a degree from Missouri Tech. Programming, electronics, networking. The fast-paced, hands-on training at Missouri Tech puts the future within your grasp today. Learn the skills. Master the technology. Behold your future. Call today, 314-569-3600 or 800-960-TECH or online at motech.edu. Master tomorrow at Missouri Tech, teaching the future today.
Once and for all, the greatest is about to leave his mark. It's the Poker Superstars Invitational. For the first time in history, the 8 greatest players gather to finally answer the question, who is the world's best poker player? No amateurs, no jokers, no mercy. Learn from the masters. The Poker Superstars Invitational begins August 15th, only on FSN.
On Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Advance Auto. We're ready in advance. By Aflac. Ask about it at work. And by Ricoh. How well do you print, copy, scan, fax? How well do you share?
Back in St. Louis, not nearly as hot or muggy as last night. It was oppressive last night. A shower right before the game had a little delay. 47 minutes. And Jeff Suppan back to work. Cardinals trailing 1-0, 4 hits aside, no errors for either side. And Suppan will meet Termel Sledge here to start the 4th. National League Rookie of the Month for May. Terrible start in April, but in May he was terrific. Sledge on the night, 0 for 1, 3 for 5 in this series. Came into the series 0 for his last 20. That ball just missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. It'll be Sledge. Then Gonzalez, who's made a nice defensive play at short, the former Cub. And Ron Callaway. 1-1 pitch. Curveball, good pitch, 69 miles an hour.
Jeff Suppan knows how to change speeds, and he has to avoid the center of the plate.
The 1-2. Hits a spot, doesn't get the call. 2-2. For him to be successful, those kind of calls have to come his way.
And it looked awfully good.
Now they go inside. That just missed. There you see Chris Carpenter looking at Dave Duncan's book, and a lot of info in that book. Years and years of knowledge and scouting reports on players, as Carpenter will get the start tomorrow against the Expos against John Patterson, who's 1-2. Swing and a miss, and a strikeout for Suppan. Number 4.
You know, Carpenter is just taking a look at his 4th strikeout, the final pitch to put away. No Sledge. Supposed to be away, but it was very effective in getting him to swing over the top. But you know, the amazing thing about the Cardinal pitching staff is they all basically throw the same stuff. They feed off of each other, where a lot of times you would not have back-to-back guys, but here they all have the same pitches, and yet there is a little bit of a difference. And Marquis has the more power sinker. You know, I think Carpenter has more quality stuff. Suppan and Woody are very similar, and you know, pretty accurate description of each other.
Hit into left on the move, and not making that play is Anderson. And Gonzalez is 2 for 2, pair of singles.
And I think, you know, Woody and Jeff Suppan, you know, are really good teachers for Matt Morris to try and take him from that transition of being a power guy to being, I'm not going to say a finesse pitcher, but just to understand what he can and cannot do.
And because they're similar, scouting reports can be somewhat similar too.
Really hasn't affected, you know, nobody's, other than the first time through the order, start the season, you know, I mean, maybe one guy has a slump, but it's not collective.
First pitch, a ball to Callaway, 0 for 1 tonight. Struck out looking back in the second. Callaway can slap it to the opposite field. Scott Rowland very much off the line at third. Let's see if Gonzalez wants to do a little running here. He's not going, and the pitch is in the dirt, 2-0. Another big crowd on hand here at Busch Stadium. Count of 2 balls, no strikes. Busch Stadium has been a tough place for Suppan to pitch. 3-6 at home, but a perfect 6-0 on the road. Popped up. Shallow center. Edmonds working on Gold Glove number 7. Camps under it for out number 2.
Now the Hungo Golf Classic, probably another day or so is all we can maybe accommodate. We might not even have any room for golfers anymore, but there's plenty of room if you want to go to the Sunday night. The Galas party at the Ritz-Carlton starts about 6:30. Going to have the fabulous Motown Review, the outstanding band there. All the celebrities are going to be there. We have Bernie Federico, Brooks Robinson, Bob Gibson, Red Shandies, Ferguson Jenkins, Jackie Smith, Andy Bennis, Keith Hernandez, Ted Savage, Lee Thomas, Keith Workman, Lana Blue, Mudcat Grant, Dan McLaughlin, my MC, Ted Sizemore, Luis Tiant, Todd Worrell, Conrad Dover, Wayne Hagan, Pagnazzi, Scott Terry, Keith Kachuk, Bob Forsch, Whitey Herzog, Dave Phillips, Gorman Thomas, Mike Tyson, Jim Kick, Kenny Reitz, Pete Lecoq, and a bunch of saying.
Oh, Suppan has a chance to make the play. Throws it away. Over to get it is Tony Womack. The runner will stay at third base, and let's hope Jeff Suppan is all right. Barry Weinberg hustling out of the dugout, and Sup is waving him off, saying, "I'm all right." Wow, that was drilled back at him off the bat of Schneider. Whoa, that's a scary moment.
Very scary, and not sure would it hit him in the chest or up in the upper body. Well, watch this. Just fall through the front leg, and bam.
Every time I see that, I think of Bryce Flory.
Yeah, but apparently this is going to be a good look. See how scary it is where he tried to move. Just moved enough where he got the back of the shoulder. And then I think Pujols was so scared for his pitcher that he kind of forgot about where he was and wasn't anticipating the throw coming there. So let's hope everything is fine.
Back of his right shoulder too. You wonder if that will tighten up between innings. Concern there.
Well, I think he got enough of a turn. He did see it coming. Couldn't get the glove up, but he got enough of a turn to where it wasn't 100% flush.
He says he's all right, so a base hit.
Got to charge those line drives, Jeff.
Easy for us to say up here, isn't it? Man, that was scorched. Can you imagine if professionals went to aluminum bats? I mean, somebody would get killed out there. You watch what just happened on that line drive off the bat of Schneider.
Well, it's something as an athlete you have to deal with. Most people talk about as a hitter, oh man, you got a pitcher throwing a ball that could kill you. But there's more chance of you being hit by a batted ball. And that pitcher By the time he ends up his delivery, he's standing 52, 53 feet away from you, and he's charging a line drive right at your face or head. Lucky there haven't been more serious injuries to pitchers.
Watch out for this guy, Hernandez. Runners at second and third. A strike at the knees. Livan Hernandez was used as a pinch hitter last night. Both benches were depleted, but this guy kind of like a Brooks Kieschnick. If needed, you could use him as a pinch hitter. Kieschnick is used in that role a little bit more by the Brewers and as a reliever. 1-2 the count. But you have to be an exceptional athlete to be able to do what Hernandez can do. Can you follow my scorebook?
Yes.
1-2 is the count. No, they didn't get him. Bill Hahn down there at first. Looked like a strike maybe anyway. Instead, it's 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 runners on.
Odd thing is that Runge, for the most part, seems like he's happy to call strikes.
Hernandez slices this one, and it's fair in the corner. 2 more runs are going to score. 3-0 Montreal. Livan Hernandez on his way to second. Stays on the bag, in there with a double. 3-0. So Suppan didn't get the call on that possible 3rd strike, and Hernandez made him pay.
That fastball just up over the middle of the plate and sliced into the corner. Once that stayed fair and goes into the corner, you knew, as you said, 2-run score. Tippy-toed into second ahead of the throw.
Barely stayed on the bag. Back to the top of the order, Brad Wilkerson.
Appealed to first base as if he missed first base, but Bill Hahn said no.
It actually goes to Gary Darling. Hahn pointed to Darling.
Yeah,
and
he's
said,
down in the corner.
Right, making sure it's a fair ball. So your second base umpire is watching the hitter around first. Third ball upstairs for ball 1. Wilkerson 1 for 2 on the night.
Sometimes this is the flip side of you walk so many people, then you get a little too happy in the strike zone. You've already got 7 hits.
Popped up out of play. And a souvenir for the folks here at Busch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wilkerson hitting .246, 20 home runs, 42 RBIs on the year.
I wonder if there's a sweet grandma out there that has a daughter named Tiffany Musgrave. She better start listening in a minute.
Jam shot.
Next inning, I'm going to talk to Ida.
Renteria there for the 3rd and final out. Montreal adds to their lead midway through the 4th, 3-0.
Joe Buck on the Suntrip Automotive family's community involvement.
You know, the best thing about the Suntrips is they're involved in the community in which they live. I mean, their whole Win One for the Kids program, where they're donating $100 for every Rams, Cardinals, and Blues victory. It's great because children benefit. Like Covenant House, Missouri, My Children's Hospital Golf Classic, the Suntrip Automotive family makes a difference.
The Suntrip Automotive family, making a difference in St. Louis. Now that's satisfaction with a smile.
At Auto Tire, you only get the best price, on the best brands, with the best warranties. Why would you go anywhere else? For the best of everything, you ought to go to Auto Tire. My man.
The party never ends. With ESPN Game Plan available on Dish Network's season ticket, get access to more than 150 extra college football games this season. Every Saturday beginning September 4th on Dish Network's season ticket.
I was tired of working in kitchens and warehouses, making minimum wage. I needed a career change. I decided to go to ITT Tech. I think it may have been the best decision I ever made. Now I have a career instead of just a job. I'm confident about my future. I no longer have to live with the constant uncertainty of going from paycheck to paycheck. I'm finally feeling free.
We are educators helping people build a foundation for the rest of their lives. ITT Technical Institute, education for the future.
For information, call 1-800-338-4715.
With the Cardinals, the first 25,000 fans with a paid admission receive a Cardinals playing cards courtesy of the Casino Queen. Friday, August 20th against the Pirates. Log on to stlcardinals.com or call the Cardinals at 421-3060 for tickets or more information.
Got a really nice letter from the family of Ida Pearl Grellner. She's 92 years old and a faithful Cardinal fan. How about this? I don't know why she'd be listening, because on Wednesday she always plays bingo. She had 5 children, 10 grandchildren, 16 great-great-grandchildren. Loves her Cardinals, and she watches us all the time, and she wants to see the World Series right here in St. Louis again. So happy 92nd birthday to a faithful Cardinal fan, Ida Pearl Grellner.
Scott Rowland, broken bat, shortstop. Gonzalez to his left, settles and throws for out number 1. And that'll bring in Jim Edmonds with Montreal on top 3-0.
Cardinals had 3 hits last inning, but 3 singles, a double play after the first one. That was pitcher's best friend.
They need to get something going.
All right, how about Jimmy? Extend his hitting streak to 8 games.
Opposite field, a home run last night. First pitch to Edmonds. Upstairs as he spins away from a breaking ball.
Breaking ball stayed up. And even that had a little late break to it.
Edmonds grounded to second his first time up. Tailing fastball and a strike. Boy, Hernandez has got a lot of movement on that fastball, and it will tail back into the left-handers. They may have caught the catchers. Edmonds swung and missed, and then on the backswing looked like he caught the mask of the catcher from Montreal. Steps out of the box. Those two exchange words, making sure he's all right.
You know, I've seen Levon pitch some good games, and a lot of times catchers want to know about the backswing of a hitter, how far back they should set up. But this may be the best I've ever seen Levon Hernandez throw.
That's saying something, because he's had some good starts against the Cardinals.
He really has, but you like the way he's changing speeds, the way he's controlling the strike zone, getting ground balls.
Some talk, Al, that he could be available, even though the trade deadline is come and gone. Edmonds stays in there, fouls that pitch. 2-2 is the count with 1 out, nobody on.
Omar Minaya, the general manager of Montreal, and Major League Baseball owns the franchise, and they pretty much leave them alone and let them stay independent. They give them a budget and say that's it, and they won't try to change things around. But you know, you kind of want to improve your ball club. You want to try and load up with prospects, but yet, you know, if it is on the market for any potential buyers, you want to leave them some major league talent. So you're kind of caught in between.
You do have Vidro locked up, but he said goodbye to Vladimir Guerrero. Said goodbye to Cabrera. Now playing shortstop for Boston. Very good player. 1 out walk to Edmonds brings in John Mabry. Geico Direct Moment quote of the day from Jason Marquis. We've been playing good baseball. You're going to have games like this, talking about the come from behind victory Expos had last night.
You know, he'll be the first to admit he wasn't as sharp as he had been, but he nearly, with a little help with the bullpen, would have gotten the victory. You could see that one slipping away, and you just hated to see it ultimately be a Cardinal loss.
Fastball, strike to John Mabry. Mabry singled his first time up. Hernandez has walked 2, and he struck out 2.
John, 311 batting average. That's great.
Trying to go to the opposite field. In the hole, no balls, 2 strikes. You're talking about Hernandez being a guy that maybe not in the best of shape, and they said back in '96 he showed up at his first spring training about 20 pounds overweight. He'd really become enamored with American restaurants like Domino's and Wendy's, and now Mabry drills this one into right field. Get going. Home run for John Mabry, number 7 on the year. An 0-2 mistake. Mabry makes him pay. 3-2 Montreal. He's 2 for 2.
John was in there with those lofty numbers against this pitcher and makes Tony look like a genius with his 2 for 2. And talking about 2s, it's a 2-run home run, and the Cardinals are back in this game trailing 3-2. So he hits it to the second deck, and Vaughn, like, it's like, I'm going to trick him. And this time John was looking for that pitch. Fastball.
3-2 Expos. Marlon Anderson, the hitter. That's a strike. That young man has a souvenir thanks to John Mabry.
Brought my glove and I caught the ball. He won't forget it. Son, his younger brother, got the stuffed animal. Says next time I'm going to bring a glove. How about that? 588.
Yeah,
2
10
home
for
runs.
17.
That's going, John. Jim had a good at bat to walk. Yeah, now you're back on TV.
They just got off the cell phone.
Yeah, the girl in front of him. Here, everybody at home can see what he just did.
Did he catch it, or did he pick it up off the ground and said, oh, here it is in my glove?
Wait a minute. The first story was better.
Batista comes up with the liner off the bat of Anderson.
Our great camera crews, it always works. Say hello. Yeah, say hello. It's you. Both of you. Danny, I'll talk to the one in front. You can talk to one behind.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So two outs now. 2-run home run by Mabry to make it 3-2. Over the head of Mike Matheny.
It's a breaking ball that just got away, and everybody thinks it's a knockdown pitch.
That's why you don't see
how come they didn't empty the benches?
Well, you don't see a response there, Al, from Mr. Matheny. He knows about that. Just a mistake, nothing intentional.
And if it was a purpose pitch, Levon went back and acted like it slipped, got the rosin back just to sell it. But I think 100% it was an accident.
And a 1-0 pitch to Matheny, who singled his first time up. Talking about Hernandez, Al, when he came over from Cuba, skinny guy, so he had a chance to eat anything, anytime. And boy, did he take advantage of it there for a while.
You know, you remember Rene Arocha?
Right.
And everybody joked about his age. You know, and thought that he was much older than his age. You know, towards the last year Arocha was around, you know, he started looking much younger. And he started explaining to me about the conditions that he grew up in Cuba. And Rene Arocha was getting the salary of a colonel, but it was like $35 a month.
Right.
And he said, I never had soap. I never had toothpaste. You know, my skin was like leather. Never had anything, any moisturizer or anything to soften it up. And he said, the food that you consume, you know, is a different variety. And he said, well, after living in the United States for 10 years, he said, you know, I started looking younger because the skin started, you know, I started taking better products and having better living conditions. So you can understand why you would think you walked into Disneyland.
Matheny strikes out. Number 3 on the night. Cardinals pick up a 2-run home run from Mabry. 3-2 Expos.
An important message from Hardee's to all pregnant women who eat thick burgers. Enjoy them while you can. After all, there's a good chance you'll be eating at McDonald's for the next 12 years. Hardee's half-pound thick burgers. Because McDonald's is great when you're 7.
How much are you paying for internet service? $21? $23? Aren't you being charged too much? We think so. With People PC Online, you get unlimited internet access for only $10.95 a month. Go to peoplepc.com now to try us free for 30 days and compare us with your current ISP. With People PC Online, you get internet service for less than half of what the big guys cost. And that's just the beginning. You also get more local access numbers than AOL, plus a smart dialer that automatically chooses the fastest, most reliable number. So you always get the best connection. All for just $10.95 a month. Try People PC Online free for 30 days and see for yourself. Go to peoplepc.com for a quick 3-minute download of our easy-to-use software. Or call 1-800-748-4959. People PC Online, a better way to internet.
You're watching Fox Sports Net.
Aflac trivia question tonight. For the Expos leading 3-2, what was the distinctive feature above the left field bleachers in the first Busch Stadium? The first Busch Stadium.
What are you looking for? Looking for notes?
No.
Oh.
I wouldn't do that, Al. I don't cheat on those.
Yeah, the first Busch Stadium was, a lot of people know as Sportsman's Park.
Correct.
And I think I know, but I will hold it.
Here's Chavez leading off the 5th. 3-2 Expos. Fastball and a strike from Jeff Suppan. Let's keep a watchful eye on Suppan. If that shoulder blade area tightened up a little bit after that screamer, the line drive off the bat of Brian Schneider last inning. He's able to keep that loose. Off the mask of Matheny. 1 ball, 1 strike. Expos will have Chavez, number 2 man in their order, followed by Vidro and then Tony Bautista. California native Jeff Suppan. Signed with the Red Sox. Here's a ground ball past Tony Womack and into center field. Second time that Chavez has been on. Also has a double over the head of Jim Edmonds. Guy with speed hitting from the left side and puts the ball on the ground.
They'll work hard to teach a guy. You see him get the ball down, and now he accentuates hitting down on the ground and utilize that great running speed. Tom McCraw will be very proud of that. And just hit it where they're not, and he gets a second hit.
See if he wants to do some running. 1-run lead for the Expos.
Jeff held the ball long enough and then eventually stepped out. Stepped off the back of the mound, off the rubber. Varying your times at home plate gives that base steal an uneasiness. Now the home plate umpire is saying, come on now.
Suppan would love a double play. There goes the runner. No chance for Matheny. Got a great jump. And it was a pitch that looked like a breaking ball in the dirt. So no chance for Mike Matheny. Stolen base for Chavez.
16 out of 20 for Chavez in stolen base department. And Jeff takes a long time to get rid of it. Now Mike came out of the chute ready to fire. I'm not sure if he had a good handle on it or not, because more times than not he'll complete that throw.
2-0 is the count. Jose Vidro, one of the top players for Montreal last few seasons. The Expos have said goodbye to Vladimir Guerrero, Javier Vasquez, a number of very good players. This guy is stuck around, though.
A little bit surprising that he would commit to Montreal when you don't know where they're going to be and who your ownership is.
That's a big key. Who's your owner going to be? Where am I going to be playing? If it was up to a lot of these players, they'd love to stay in Montreal. Not so much for the baseball atmosphere, but they're major league professional athletes left alone in the city of Montreal.
I mean, Vladimir loved that. They've always been very, very good to the Latin community.
It's really unfortunate after watching the Expos draw in the early 80s. At one point, they led the league in attendance.
Yeah.
It's such a good team right before the strike. 30 games above 500. Season was called. Marquise Grissom, John Wetland, Pedro Martinez. Fantastic team.
And you may be onto something about him stiffening up. Looks a lot more deliberate. It doesn't look comfortable, and now Cal Eldred will start throwing in the Cardinals bullpen. So Cardinals got back in it with the 2-run home run by Mabry, and it's starting to slip away.
There's Batista for 2 tonight. 2 runners on. Batista's a guy that when you watch him go about his business, real lackadaisical, and when he first came up, a lot of people didn't like his mannerisms because he is so laid back, but that's just the way he is.
You better have some production with it, because to a lot of baseball men it doesn't look good.
Right. 26 home runs with Baltimore last year, 31 the year before. Pretty well hit left center. Edmonds over. He'll take it. Draws a throw from Chavez and right on the money.
Jimmy still leads the National League in assists.
And it brings in Sledge.
Good that no advancement on the play. So the double play still in order for a guy that's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts.
Termel Sledge, T-E-R-R-M-E-L Sledge. First full season with the Expos this year. Minor league player of the year for Montreal last season.
Good
fastball and a strike. As part of the Team USA qualifying team for the Olympics that didn't make it. There goes one runner. And it's 0-2. He saw the runner from second base maybe just do that on his own, Chavez, because Vidro finally caught wind that Chavez was running. Then he started going towards second. So you just wonder if he saw that maybe Suppan not really paying attention to him.
Well, yeah, but he had a great jump off of Suppan, but Vidro could make a big mistake by trying to take a late start with a veteran catcher like Matheny, because it was a sure out.
0-2 is the count. Suppan a look at the runner out there at second base, Chavez. During spring training this year, Frank Robinson compared Sledge to Chili Davis when he first came up. And he was his manager with San Francisco back in 1982.
It's a pretty good compliment.
Yes, it is.
And great respect for Chile, and what did he play? 19, 20 years?
Yep. 19 years at 274. Almost 400 home runs for Chili Davis. Took Sledge 23 at bats, but he finally got his first hit. Tough April, good May. Rookie Player of the Month in May. Montreal has out hit the Cardinals 8-5, lead at 3-2 here in the top of the 5th. Two and two, now 3-2. He lost track. Remember Jeff Suppan last start against Cincinnati. He was an out away from getting 5 innings in the books, and he just could not get that final out. Here, dealing with runners at first and second, just 1 out, as Eldred continues to get loose. Pickoff play, none doing.
Timing play right there, and Renteria snuck in behind him, and then pitcher counts to 3 and whirls and throws.
Cardinals would love a double play here. There go the runners. Pop foul out of play. Sledge struck out looking first time up, then swinging. That was back in the 4th. Suppan has struck out 4 on the night.
Suppan in that last start, remember, he had a big lead in the 5th, trying to get his way through.
Uh-oh. Edmonds on the move.
He's got that.
Runners have to tag back up. Hard hit, but the runners back to first and second. We go pitch by pitch. This feature brought to you by Chevrolet.
Come in there with a fastball, had that tailing action for a strike. Off-speed pitch there, gets ahead 0-2, keeps on throwing strikes, keep on pounding predominantly in, changing speeds, but everything's on the inner part of the plate, and that one was a little bit away. That was the one, and then eventually tied him up on a pitch up and in, a little harmless fly ball. So 2 outs now, but Gonzalez has been tough on Suppan, so a little visit from Dave Duncan.
He's 2 for 2 with a run scored. Now Suppan is due up first in the Cardinals half of the 5th. And obviously Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan not liking what they were seeing by getting the right-hander Cal Eldred up and throwing. Try to get him through this inning. Gonzalez 2 for 2, the former Cub. Played in his first game with Montreal after the trade last night. Came up with the Blue Jays back in 1995.
Pulled the ball on the left side. Infield single and 1 to left.
First pitch misses just in. Little up 2 to Gonzalez.
Callaway is 0 for 2 as Gonzalez, this hitter, is 2 for 2. Got a base open. It happens to be third. There's 2 outs. Went after him in on the first one.
Foul tip, 1 ball, 1 strike. Alex's father is an electrical engineering professor at the University of Miami. Grew up in the Miami area. Learned from legendary coach Ron Frazier.
He is legendary.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Popped up right side. Is there a play? Pujols, foul territory, near the crowd, out of play. Runs out of room. 1-2 is the count.
Ron Frazier, a good friend of Frank Torres. That's how I first met him.
Remember all the walk-off home runs Gonzalez had last year?
I think in his brief 3+ years with the Cubs, what was it, 8 or 9?
Yep.
Jeff in the controlling the count. He's ahead. Got him.
He got him. Good pitch by Suppan. Gonzalez knew it. Montreal strands 2. They've left 6 on in this game. Suppan due to lead things off. 3-2 Expos.
What's the definition of a fun getaway to Springfield, Missouri? Fun is the Fall Hunting Classic at Bass Pro Shops, August 7th through 15th. With free seminars and the new gear on display, it's their most exciting hunting show of the year. And fun is seeing live fish and wildlife at the Wonders of Wildlife Museum and Zooquarium. And fun means a trip to Fantastic Caverns, America's ride-through cave. Springfield, Missouri. It's fun for everyone. Call or log on now for your free travel kit.
You've been waiting all year for this moment to arrive. The one and only clearance event. Your one and only chance to get $1,000 in gas when you buy Mercury Grand Marquis or Mercury Mountaineer. Plus the best model year-end savings. Now get $6,000 cash back or 0% APR for 60 months on Lincoln Town Car. And don't miss $1,000 in gas extended through August 12th. See your St. Louis area Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
There's a new way to save on tires at Auto Tire. Right now, get a $50 rebate when you buy any set of 4 Michelin tires at Auto Tire. Hurry, offer ends soon. For special savings on top of our lowest bottom line price, you ought to go to Auto Tire.
5th, 3-2 Montreal. We turn to our Hardy's hot pitch of the game. Jeff Suppan, his final pitch of this game. We'll tell you about that in just a moment here, Al.
All right, came back with a good fastball, and Gonzalez was looking for something else. Took it right down the middle. So ends up with 5 strikeouts for Jeff Suppan, and now Woody Williams will pinch hit for him.
Short bench with Sanders being unavailable more than likely tonight. So Woody Williams getting a pinch hit appearance against Livan Hernandez. Hernandez did that last night. First pitch upstairs to the former college shortstop. Woody's next assignment on the mound will be Saturday against Chris Benson. 1-0 pitch.
Numbers for Suppan: 5 innings, 3 runs, all earned, 8 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Hopefully the Cardinals can score a couple.
Woody takes a strike low and away. Doesn't like the call. See, now when you're a pinch hitter, Al,
yeah,
you can shake your head a little bit and disagree. Yeah.
Yeah, you can complain because you're not out there saying, okay, give me that pitch.
But if you're on the mound, you say, give me that pitch when I'm on the mound. Spoils that delivery. 1-2 is the count. Womack on deck, and then we'll see Edgar Renteria. Another 1-2 pitch to Woody Williams. No, he may have gotten one back there. Count is even, 2-2. Breaking ball struck him out. That thing is tantalizing. Is floating up there. Aflac trivia question. With 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Cardinals trailing 3-2.
Aflac!
Just joining us, the naming rights of the new stadium go to Anheuser-Busch. What was the distinctive feature above the left field bleachers in the first Busch Stadium? Giant neon Anheuser-Busch eagle that flapped its wings after each Cardinal home run.
Fly around. Might have been a, when they had a version of that at Busch Stadium.
This Busch Stadium.
This one. And Mike Shannon, I think the story goes that Mike Shannon one time hit that neon and he was scared to death because it broke it and thought they were going to charge him for it. But old Gussie took care of it.
2-0 pitch here to Tony Womack. Ball outside. Some history with Mr. Shannon in that ballpark. Well, I should say this ballpark. Working with Wayne Hagan and Jim Jackson on the radio side tonight. 3 balls and a strike. So 20-year agreement. Extension with Anheuser-Busch and the Cardinals naming rights today. Little chopper up the middle. Gonzalez has to be quick. Out at first is Tony Womack. Nice play by Gonzalez.
Very good play. Old Busch Stadium there.
First year for this Busch Stadium was 66.
There's the A&E Eagle out there.
Busch Stadium, 1964. Here's Renteria now. He'll dig in with 2 outs and nobody on. Very nice play by Gonzalez. Edgar on the first pitch. Looks at a strike. Pujols on deck. Albert had a chance back in the third with runners at first and second and struck out to end the third. Edgar's 1 for 2 on the night. Up the middle with a base hit off his former teammate. Let's see, what did Albert learn from his last at bat? We talk about adjustments in this game, and Pujols one of the best. 2 hits on the night for Renteria. Pujols is walked and struck out. We have seen a couple of hard liners right back at the pitchers tonight. One was Suppan that hit him on his shoulder blade, it looked like. That one up the middle against Livan Hernandez. 2 outs. This is Pujols.
Cardinals get a guy on. They usually hit into a double play, and if they get a Knicks runner on, it's always 2 outs.
Albert has struck out just 30 times this year. That's it.
One of those tonight, his last time after walking the first time up. And he was guessing and guessed wrong.
Rolling on deck. Count of 1 ball, no strikes on Pujols. Crowd comes alive a bit here at Busch. Albert, little tapper left side and a foul ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Home run number 30 last night for Pujols to dead center field. First player in Major League history, 4 consecutive years to start Major League campaigns with 30 or more home runs. First and only to do it.
And then as soon as he gets 100 runs scored and 100 RBIs, he'll be the first to ever have done that. First 4 years of a career. And what a start.
Well, everybody knew he was going to be a good player. Just how good, we didn't know. Turned out to be one of the best. Runner is going, throw down to second, and safe is Renteria. Be anxious to see that replay.
Vidro, I'm not sure, but a very quick release from Snyder. Said last night he'd thrown out 45% of the runners. Well, he was safe.
Good call. Gary Darling out there, our second base umpire. Snyder thought he had him. Pujols is 1 for 7 in the series.
That's why you slide feet first. Vidro wasn't too anxious to stick that glove hand down in there.
What will Mr. Pujols do here? A count of 2 balls, 1 strike on the Cardinal slugger. Sweeping curveball upstairs, 3-1.
Sometimes when he throws one upstairs, it's just high enough that if you were to swing it, you'd pop it up.
Pujols here, rolling next.
Scotty's rolled over on a couple pitches tonight.
He's over 2 ground balls to short. Edgar at second, the 3-1 pitch. Pujols stays away. Now it's Scott rolling.
Whether Livan is right or not, he didn't want any part of Albert in that situation. With the first base open.
Like we say time and again, it's pick your poison though when you get to this spot in the order with Renteria, Pujols, Roland, and Edmonds.
Yeah, and to this point, and Batista coming in to talk to him, but Scotty will tell you that he hadn't had good at bats. It seemed like he saw pitches outside. Instead of going with the pitch, he rolled over and grounded to shortstop both times. Remember, he wants to stay behind the ball.
Roland with 16 RBIs in his last 16 games.
When you start moving forward and lunging is when your hands come over and you just get that little ground ball to short and get yourself out.
Rolling. Ball one. When you don't hit, it just seems like you're flat. And the Cardinals have not had a lot of hits in the first 2 games of this series. And when they have had hits, they haven't cashed in.
Now, the Expos came from behind yesterday. Maybe it's the Cardinals' turn today.
Expos were down 6-1 in that ball game last night. Then in the 9th, an air by Taguchi, and Isringhausen gave up the home run to Batista. Edgar is the tying run. He's at second base. Pujols the go-ahead run at first. 2-0. Now it gets interesting. Roland with 96 RBIs on the year, 25 home runs, a .333 batting mark.
That looked pretty good too, didn't it?
Sure did. Now if you're Scott Rolen, you're in the driver's seat here. For Hernandez, you're thinking about the possibility of the bases loaded and maybe the hottest bat in this lineup on deck in Jim Edmonds. He walked him. Bases loaded. So back-to-back walks from Livan Hernandez. Bases are loaded. A single by Renteria. Walk to Pujols. Walk to Roland. Fans starting to get a little excited. Some of them rise to their feet as Edmonds will be the hitter.
Now they're waiting for something. Randy St. Clair trying to rein Livan back in. He's walked 4 in the night, including the last 2.
It's a grand slam. This is the perfect time to mention this. The grand slam for Taurus, up to $5,000 cash back or 0% financing for 60 months to qualified buyers. Only at your Quality Ford stores. Your home run to Cardinal baseball fun.
Ford grand slam right here would be a lot better than the one we saw last night.
That was by Batista. Well, here we go. Key spot in this game. 2 outs, bases loaded. Cardinals down by a run to Montreal. Edmonds 1 for 4 in the series. 0 for 1 with a run scored in the walk tonight. First pitch to Jim. Strike. Five grand slams in his career.
293 average.
Tells you he bears down in these situations. 0-1 pitch to Edmonds. This is inside. Even though Pujols and Roland are having great years, I'm not sure you want anybody else up there right now than the man at the plate, Jim Edmonds.
He's National League Player of the Month last month and National League Player of the Week last week. So indication of how well he's swinging the bat. Average over 300.
The 1-1 pitch. Edmonds pulls it foul. Now he's in the hole, a ball and 2 strikes. Sacks jammed for Edmonds. The 1-2 pitch. Outside, not by much. 2-2.
Now this is the pitch.
Does not want to go full count with the bases loaded.
It's the most exciting play in baseball, the merry-go-round. And Hernandez has called time as Flying off his hands, wanted to talk to his catcher. He stepped back there and then called his catcher out.
Cardinals have been out hitting this game 8-6. A chance, though, to tie it up or take the lead. Two and two the count. Edmonds sitting on 29 home runs. Wow, what about, oh man. How about that pitch? Floats it up there. And he gets Edmonds. Good defense in this inning from Gonzalez. And how about this pitch? Cardinals strand, the bases loaded.
Let me tell you about a place I know. Casino Queen is the place to go. The folks are friendly and they got the loosest slots. If you want to play where the limit is, the Queen is the spot. Now you dig? I love winning big. That's the Casino Queen Hotel and Casino. Look at that, baby, another winner.
My man.
The party never ends. With ESPN Game Plan available on Dish Network's season ticket, get access to more than 150 extra college football games this season. Every Saturday beginning September 4th on Dish Network's season ticket.
Ordering Dish On Demand pay-per-view movies and events couldn't be easier. The most convenient way is using your remote control. Just go to the program you want to watch in the on-screen guide and press select. Order movies and events in seconds with no transaction fees. If you don't have a phone line connected to your receiver, you can order pay-per-view by phone or internet as well. Ordering great movies and events is easy and convenient with Dish On Demand pay-per-view.
Montreal, Edmonds strikes out with the bases loaded. And we go pitch by pitch. The matchup with Edmonds and Livan Hernandez.
Well, he just gets that outside corner there. Then it comes inside. It's off the plate. Series, then he jams in there, gets it back outside, doesn't get the call, back in, hanging eephus pitch right there. He totally misses location. But look at how the ball just kind of slips out at 61 miles an hour, and Jimmy saw it and his eyes lit up, but he couldn't reach it.
Just a heck of a pitch. You tip your cap to Hernandez. Cal Eldred now, new pitcher for St. Louis. This is brought to you by the official hotel of Cardinal Broadcast on FSN Midwest, Renaissance Grand Hotel. Pitched an inning last night, and he has allowed just 5 earned runs in his last 25 2/3. So as the games get more important, more situations on the line, Cal Eldred becoming more of a factor in that bullpen now.
Well, just more opportunities for him to convince them that to put him in more meaningful games, but they always knew that Cal's a bulldog, a warrior. They're not going to scare him. Doesn't have the stuff he once had, but he still has plenty of moxie and intelligence to go out there and defeat major league hitters.
Batter is Ron Callaway, 0 for 2 on the night. Ball's behind, 0-2. It'll be Callaway, Brian Schneider, then Livan Hernandez. Now they did get a little activity in that bullpen up for Montreal, but it was just one pitch. As a matter of fact, we couldn't see who was warming up. They threw it over the catcher's head. That baseball wound up on the playing surface as Edmonds struck out, but right after that he sat down, and so did the Cardinals after that. 0-2. Popped up left side, rolling, foul territory, first out. That's how we start play here in the 6th. The Sports List is the new show that counts down the 10 best and worst of everything and anything in sports. Tomorrow, find out about the greatest athletes that have never won a championship ring. It's the Sports List with host Summer Sanders tomorrow at 5 on FSN Midwest. Eldred gets the first man, Callaway, and now it's Schneider. First pitch, a ball to Schneider. 2 for 2 tonight. 3 for 7 in the game. Montreal leading 3-2. Jam shot. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's an odd looking swing, and I think that's what Schneider's talking about with Mike Matheny behind the plate as he was jammed. I was thinking about this the other day. There's not many Cardinals on this roster with championship rings. Reggie Sanders, Tony La Russa, Edgar Renteria,
Tony Womack.
Tony Womack with the Diamondbacks. Renteria with Florida. Sanders with the Diamondbacks. Played in the World Series 2 with San Francisco. That just missed. 3-1. Tony La Russa has been in postseason play a bunch, but has 1 ring to show for it. Trying to win a World Series not only in the American League with the A's, but here with St. Louis. The 3-1 pitch. Fouled back. Full count.
One of his mentors did that. Sparky Anderson.
Cincinnati and Detroit. Detroit with the Tigers in '84 is the manager of the Big Red Machine. The '70s with the Cincinnati Reds. Been with Dave Duncan a long time as Tony La Russa. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Low and inside. So 1-out walk to Schneider here in the 6th. What's on tap brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold fresh Budweiser. It's game time. Hall of Famer Red Shandy's looking on.
Wake up, Red.
It's not that bad, Red. John Patterson, Chris Carpenter tomorrow at 6:30 with Cardinals tonight. Mets in town this weekend. This is Livan Hernandez with 1 out.
Red looked like he was a little upset. I'm used to seeing his Cardinals trailing.
You played for Red. Was he a guy that would get upset very often?
Red was outstanding. You know, he had a veteran team. He just let guys play. You know, when he had the likes of McCarver and Simmons, handling the pitching staff, and then you had Joe Torre and Bob Gibson, Lou Brock, that veteran leadership. Players took care of themselves.
Hernandez, fair ball. Sacrifice is good for the 2nd out. And Schneider moves up. 2-3 on the sacrifice. Hernandez does the job. Boy, he can really handle the bat, can't he?
You know what was really different about that time? You know, the only time players got raises is if they won. You know, if you got an automatic raise if the team won. And it was real hard to get raises. So the players would go to a guy that wasn't pulling his weight. Maybe he was not taking good care of himself off the field, or doing this or doing that.
So in essence, policing themselves.
They jump on him because, hey man, you're messing with my money. And you could fool the front office and you could fool fans, but you can't fool your teammates.
Strike 2, Wilkerson. 1 for 3 and 5 for 9 in this series. A 1 hit tonight. Single to start the game.
Classic, contract negotiations. Ralph Kiner going to Pittsburgh, winning a home run title. He won, I think, maybe 5 or 6 of them, and going trying to negotiate a raise. Bobby Brown or somebody would sit there, go, we finished last with you. We can finish last without you.
So take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
0-2 on the batter, Wilkerson. Elder trying to have a scoreless frame in relief of Jeff Suppan, who went 5 innings. Allowed 3. 8 hits, 1 walk, and he struck out 5. Elder got the first man, Callaway. Walked to Schneider. Hernandez the sacrifice. And on 1 and 2, Wilkerson. Called 3rd strike. First strikeout for Cal Eldred. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Here from Bush, it'll be Mabry, who has a 2-run home run tonight. Anderson and Mike Matheny.
Hi, I'm Fred from Dirt Cheap Beer and Liquor. The more she drinks, the better you look. And remember, size really does matter. Carry a big wallet with the money you save with our low-price, low-tier products. Cheap! Please visit us. We are the last refuge of the persecuted smoker, and we really are grateful for your business.
Cheap, fun!
Have fun, but drink responsibly. Be careful out there.
Just like Busch Stadium is the place to go to see great baseball, Marshall Wireless is the place to go to get your great deal on Nextel phones.
If your wireless plan is worn out as my hat, then call Marshall Wireless today and bring your phone number to Nextel. And Marshall Wireless will give you a free car adapter with every activation.
Make the right call. Call Marshall Wireless today.
And remember, there are a lot of Deppies in town, but there's only one Marshall.
Visit any of the 9 Marshall Wireless locations today, or they will come to your business.
Don't wait for the future. Master it with a degree from Missouri Tech. Programming, electronics, networking. The fast-paced, hands-on training at Missouri Tech puts the future within your grasp today. Learn the skills. Master the technology. Behold your future. Call today, 314-569-3600 or 800-960-TECH or online at motech.edu. Master tomorrow at Missouri Tech, teaching the future today.
Hidalgo and the Mets pay a visit to Busch as they face the powerful league-leading Cardinals. The battle begins Friday at 6:30 on FSN Midwest.
Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Net. Brought to you by Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box now accepts MasterCard and Visa in most restaurants. And by Geico, a 15-minute call can save you 15% or more on car insurance. John Mabry will lead things off for the Cardinals. Somewhat of an old-time baseball player. The way that he goes about his business, professionalism. Mabry is 2 for 2 with a 2-run home run.
No gloves.
Cardinals picked up Mark McGuire back in '97, and John had to work with longtime Cardinals instructor George Kissel. Tried to play third base. Think about all the players George Kissel has helped out over the years. Hernandez takes it himself. Safe at first because of the hustle from John Mabry.
Old school, as you said, always hustling. You never know what might happen. You're alert. You kind of watch what they're doing and you react to it. A lot of people reacted to this. His time up where he hit the 2-run home run, and now the other extreme, a little swinging bunt, but it's well placed right between first base and the pitcher. Little indecision who's going to pick it up, and you see that John saw that Lavon just trying to reach out and tag him, so he slides, reacting to where the positioning of the pitcher, and finds himself on first for the second hit.
Here's Marlon Anderson. Think about all those guys, though, that Kissel has helped out.
His third hit. It's 3 for 3 now.
Yep, John Mabry. Think about Kenny Boyer and Mike Shannon over there and Joe Torre. John's been a very good utility player for the Cardinals this year, including third base.
And that was one of the interesting things is Kissel's noted for the ability to change guys, teach them new positions. I remember Joe Torre went from catcher to third to first.
Yep.
An all-star at all positions.
Outfield is probably John's best position, but can play first very well. He's running. Hit and run was on, and bye-bye. Mabry erased. Caught stealing.
Well, as soon as contact was not made, John was dead. Stand straight up, erect. He just doesn't have the foot speed and too good a throwing arm from Snyder. Right on the muddy and slides into the tag. So it all designed for contact, protecting.
1-2 on Anderson. He strikes out. Not a good at bat there. Another K for Lavon Hernandez. We're back at it again tomorrow on FSN Midwest. We'll come your way at 6:30 with Cardinals tonight. 7 o'clock with the play-by-play. Expos and Cardinals 6:30 tomorrow on FSN Midwest.
How those Cubbies doing? Well, they're losing 3-1 after 5 innings out in Colorado.
6 strikeouts now for Livan Hernandez, and this is Mike Matheny. 1 for 2 tonight with a single. His first time up. He's also struck out. So Taguchi has moved to the on-deck circle. The Cardinals have used Woody Williams as a pinch hitter for Jeff Suppan already tonight. It's back in the 5th. Suppan is on the hook right now if the Cardinals can't come back. Even though he's on the opposition, this guy is fun to watch. Pitch. Livan Hernandez. Here's a 2-1 to Mike Matheny. Really took something off that one. 67 miles an hour.
I remember one to Edmonds was 61, but.
And now it's just sitting there, tantalizing.
Well, that's it. You know, you see it, and about the time you pull the trigger, then it starts falling.
Arm action is the same. He doesn't give it away. That's the key to getting that hitter out in front. 2-2 pitch. Try to go inside. Matheny, good piece of hitting. Goes from that below 70 miles an hour pitch, and then he comes back with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball on the inside portion, and Matheny fought it off and picks up his second hit of the night.
Hitting in that little crouch stance, very short backswing. You're looking up the middle in the opposite field, and makes contact, and then just kind of pops the wrist to pound it into right. A good inning from Eldred.
No runs allowed. 1 hit, 1 walk, and a strikeout.
Ray King will be the next out of the chute, but let's hope So can help this score.
Taguchi fouled straight back. Nobody felt worse about the loss last night than So Taguchi. Costly error allowed that game-tying home run in the 9th. Cardinals used Marquis, Klein, Eldred, King, Isringhausen, Calero, and Danny Aaron last night. Only one left was Tavares.
Or it gets too late. Where's Izzy at?
Good point. Madeline Eileen Isringhausen. Happy birthday. She turned 2.
Well, I'll tell you what. Izzy's proud daddy. And that young lady is she's a looker.
Broken bat. Hit to short. Force play. Let's go to the 7th. 3-2 Montreal.
At Auto Tire, you only get the best price on the best brands with the best warranties. Why would you go anywhere else? For the best of everything, you ought to go to Auto Tire.
Fox Saturday Baseball.
Nothing beats the excitement of the long ball. This season, Fox Sportsnet and your St. Louis area Hyundai dealers are giving fans a chance to win a Santa Fe in the Hyundai Long Drive Inning Sweepstakes. During each televised game, one winner will be drawn for a merchandise prize pack. If the Cardinals hit a home run in the 7th inning, that person will be entered into the grand prize drawing for Santa Fe. Visit one of the 5 St. Louis area Hyundai dealers to register. It's the Hyundai Long Drive Inning Sweepstakes, sponsored by Fox Sportsnet.
Sometimes you just feel like having some eggs, sausage, biscuits, and gravy. Too bad you don't have any eggs, sausage, biscuits, or gravy. The loaded biscuit and gravy breakfast bowl with eggs and sausage at Hardee's.
Stock up for all your adventures at Bass Pro Shops. If you can fish for it, we've got dependable gear to help you catch it. Call 1-800-BASS-PRO for a free Bass Pro Shops catalog. Visit BassPro.com for 24-hour access to the latest products for fishing, hunting, and the outdoors. And experience all the wonder of the outdoors inside one of our exciting superstores. Bass Pro Shops, with 3 great ways to get more outdoors for your money.
Hidalgo and the Mets pay a visit to Busch as they face the powerful league-leading Cardinals. The battle begins Friday at 6:30 on FSN Midwest. Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in our coverage on Fox Sports Net.
Great event is coming up to benefit Cardinals Care and Camp Coca-Cola St. Louis, the first ever Cardinals campout. You head to the outfield here at Busch Stadium. It's the first time ever in the stadium's history a limited number of Cardinal fans will be able to spend the night on the field. You can play catch out there. You'll be able to watch the Cardinals take on the Dodgers. That'll be Friday, September 10th. The check-in at 7:30, between 7:30 and 9, and on the 11th, Saturday morning, check out after 8 a.m. breakfast.
Danny, no pegs, no campfires.
Good point. They definitely want you to know there's no campfires allowed. We don't want to tear up the field. Well, you were asking me last night about Joe Horgan. He said, I think I remember this name. This is our call to the bullpen, brought to you by the Renaissance Grand Hotel. Earlier this season, the Cardinals had Horgan in their minor league system and sent him to Montreal. So that's probably where you remember it. Edmonds on the first pitch, looks at a ball. He struck out with the bases loaded back in the 5th. Walked and scored on a 2-run home run from Mabry. That was in the 4th, and is grounded out to second.
And memory serves me right, he struck out against Horgan last night.
Pujols is the tying run at second base. Edmonds, strike one.
Struck out Edmonds to end the 8th inning, stranding a run.
Popped up left side. Long way to go for Sledge, and it's out of play.
Boy, I like that new configuration down there in left field corner.
Takes away just enough territory for Edmonds. He's got a life.
Probably would have stayed in the old Busch Stadium configuration without that, the seats jettisoning towards the playing field.
But then does Kevin Mitchell come and make a barehanded play down there?
Now that he couldn't make that anymore, because remember, that was about 10 feet.
That's right.
In the foul territory out there, and now you have much less.
Can't even see the left fielder or center fielder. They're so deep.
Man, but you know what we can see? Guys at truck are thirsty.
Oh. Oh.
Let's see where this is. Does it go around the plate? Breaking ball looks like it's got to come to the strike zone, but not according to Mr. Runge.
Full count on Edmonds. Runners off with this pitch. Mabry on deck.
Well, that's good. Base hit now. Outfield not as deep with 2 outs in this situation, but Scott Rowland will get a tremendous jump.
Edmonds with a life here to make him pay. The 3-2 pitch. Jimmy stays away. Bases loaded for the second time tonight for the Cardinals. And maybe their best hitter tonight has been John Mabry, arguably. And he'll have a chance to put the Cardinals on top or tie it up. Oregon trying to preserve this lead for Livan Hernandez and his teammates. Hernandez 6 2/3, 9 hits, 4 walks, and he struck out 6.
Oregon was just activated off the disabled list on Monday.
Big cut there by Mabry.
John. He wants a Hungo Award with that swing.
That average up to 321, 3 for 3 tonight.
Stay within yourself.
Used as a pinch hitter in the bowl game last night. 1-1. Good play by their catcher. Schneider behind the plate. Not quite as deep here for Mabry. John tonight with those 3 hits, including a 2-run home run back in the 4th. Mabry into right. Gets down. 1 run in. Rolling being waved home. Throw to the plate. Safe at the plate. What a a slide by Scott Rowland. Cardinals have their first lead of the night. What a slide.
Maybe John Mabry is going to get the Hungo Award. 4 RBIs. All 4 of them belong to John now, and he's 4 for 4. And here was a pretty good play at the plate, but here's what you're talking about, Danny. Accurate description, great slide. Look at how far around the tag when no tag is ever applied. This is a great angle, great camera work here. As you see, Scott Rowland comes around, goes around the tag, but then reaches to home plate and no tag applied.
Now it's Cedeno. Cardinals trying to add to their first lead of the night, 4 for 4. And he's driven in all the Cardinal runs. Here's John Mabry. Let's have some fun. Cedeno pinch hitting for King.
Crowd kind of got into this a little bit. They've been lackluster.
Cedeno, little blooper, backing up the second baseman, and the play is made by Vidro. But John Mabry plates 2 with the bases loaded. A 2-out hit. He delivers in the clutch to go along with his 2-run home run. 4-3 Cardinals as we head to the 8th.
There are a lot of logical reasons to buy an FX Cruiser high output from Yamaha. A clean burning 4-stroke high output engine, the best power to weight ratio in its class, Yamaha's world-renowned reliability, and countless others. But in case you need a few more reasons, just take a look at your family's faces. The new FX Cruiser high output, only from Yamaha.
Your new Wave Runner is waiting at Sir Dyke Yamaha, the Lake of the Ozarks' #1 Wave Runner dealer.
When you have the HP Pavilion notebook powered by the Intel Pentium 4 processor, you can take it with you wherever you go. And now you can get your notebook along with expansion base for just $10.99 after rebates. Connect, download, and print remotely with built-in wireless capability. Create mixed CDs and play DVDs when you customize your notebook with the DVD CD-RW combo drive. View photos and documents on the 15.4-inch widescreen display, or upgrade to the ZD7000 with larger 17-inch widescreen display and numeric keypad. Call now, and for a limited time, get this notebook and expansion base, all for just $10.99 after rebates. Plus, get a free 15.4-inch display upgrade. And let us help you customize your notebook. The HP Pavilion notebook with the Intel Pentium 4 processor. You can take it with you.
You're watching Fox Sports Net.
Tonight's SBC Yahoo DSL connection of the day is brought to you by Yahoo DSL. John Mabry delivering in the clutch against the left-hander Joe Horgan. And Mabry delivers as Rowland. The picture perfect slide at home to give the Cardinals. Look at his face here. The grimace reaching for the home plate. And Scott Rowland makes it a 4-3 St. Louis lead.
Well, John got a pitch, was supposed to be down and away, left it down and in on the breaking ball and hammers it out there. But, you know, Snyder thought he had a tag play going, and Houdini Rowland. And here's Steve Klein coming in. 53rd appearance for Steve. 2 for 2 in save opportunities. He's going to try and get a hold here as he's pitching here in the 8th inning. Very important 8th inning here. And Ray King is starting to become a vulture. He's in line for this victory. It'd be his 5th. But still got a long way to go.
Here's Sledge showing bunt. 0 for 3 tonight. 3 for 7 in the series. Right-hander. Looks like Tavares getting loose in the bullpen. You've got Gonzalez on deck, who's hit the ball hard twice tonight, so maybe just one batter here for Steve Klein. A lefty-lefty matchup. 2-0 is the count. Well, it's been nice to see 2 left-handers in the bullpen at the disposal there for Tony La Russa.
Yeah, it's so important, and Tony's worked them to magic. Nobody gets overexposed, and everybody is fresh.
That's a strike from Steve Klein. This crowd seems to be back in it, as you mentioned. 2-1 the count. Sledge, Gonzalez, then Callaway. Strike 2. John Mabry has delivered tonight with 4 RBIs, 4 hits. Can the bullpen make it stay? Suppan is off the hook.
Slider.
Gets him to reach. Ground ball. Charging. Making the play and a wide throw is Womack. So an error on Tony Womack, the second error on the night by the Cardinals. And with good speed now, Sledge moves to second base. Costly.
Tony trying to do a little too much. It's a difficult play because of speed of Sledge, and I guess just never had that throw on line. Probably had it out on his fingertips or back into the palm of his hand, and not, where he needed it to, midway on his fingertips.
So sacrifice situation here. If they're going to give you the out, you stay with the left-hander Klein, because you do have a lefty at bat and Callaway coming up. Gonzalez swinging away. That's trouble. Into the corner. This game is tied. On his way to second is Alex Gonzalez.
Alex playing his second game with his new ball club, and he's made a statement. 3 hits on the night. He's made some great defensive plays, and he just stood in the batter's box. He didn't look like he was going to sacrifice a bit, and he did.
Up. Yeah, pitch that's up in the zone. He just went with it.
And missed location. You saw where Matheny was set up inside. The pitch was out of way. He went with the ball, hit it into the right field corner, and just like that, these Expos have a lot of fight. No quit. Mateo's going to pinch hit now.
So he'll pinch hit for Callaway. Gonzalez 3 hits on the night.
He's a switch hitter, so whatever they want to do, Tony, if he wants to make a change, fine.
So an error by Tony Womack allows Sledge to reach to second base. RBI double by Gonzalez.
Not enough at bats right-handed to really know what kind of hitter. 231 overall. He's 0 for 4 right-handed and 3 for 9 left-handed. So he was their best pinch hitter, but he was hurt earlier.
Charging. Klein has a play in front of him. They go to third, and they got him.
Where was Gonzalez? You wonder if he missed a sign or was not aware, because he was nowhere close to the bag. Give Klein credit because he pounced off, and he heard Matheny call third, and look at you just see the base runner.
Cardinals had Pujols charging, so Roland stayed at the bag, and Klein had that play right in front of him. He knew where to go. As Pujols, along with the catcher Matheny, will yell at Klein what bag to go to, and then he could see he had a chance to get him. Brian Schneider, the hitter, 2 for 2.
Little guy, he had a high-mate surgery on his wrist. Runner at first base. Has not, limited play. He's had the surgery and spent time at AAA. He has not attempted a steal at the big league level.
Juan Rivera has moved to the on-deck circle for the Expos.
Last year, Mateo had 11 steals for the Expos.
Pitch misses just in. Last night it was the 9th inning. The Cardinals had themselves a 2-run lead. Here in the 8th, a 1-run lead. Two and 0. Schneider with an RBI double back in the second inning. Singled and scored in the 4th. Walked in the 6th. 2-1.
Actually hitting a little bit higher, average-wise, 10 points higher against left-handers than right-handers.
See if they want to start the runner. Mateo at first base. Klein thinking the same thing. Another throw over. Two balls, one strike. Historically, this has been a running count.
Anything that is predictable is an obvious situation that they don't, you don't do those things in. Everybody counters it by step offs, pitch outs. So you don't run in 2-1 counts very much anymore.
There he goes, swing and a miss. Throw down to second, goes to center field. And with one out, a sac fly could put Montreal on top.
And that's going to break Mike Matheny's record. He had gone 252 games without an error. And here it is. Could have been a better job by Renteria to at least knock that ball down. Third error, you just concede the stolen base, but just get that ball in front of it, because now it gets through and you put the runner.
Cardinals need a strikeout now. Infield is drawn in. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out on the batter, Brian Schneider. 3 errors on the night by the Cardinals. Schneider wouldn't chase the slider. August 1st of 2002 was the last error by Mike Matheny. That's when it happened. He got him. Flying a strikeout. That's a big one there.
Big one big one to go.
Let's see if Tony wants to go to the bullpen as a pinch hitter, Juan Rivera, will step in.
I think they'll leave him in because he's their last left-hander, and you got first base open, and you got Wilkerson, Chavez, and all the lefties next inning. So you remember, it's a little different now. You're in a tie game. Rivera, it's been more than a month since he's hit a home run.
Want to wish a happy 60th birthday to Jeannie Scott, watching in tonight in Oklahoma. We'll get to some more birthdays and announcements in a moment. Cardinal fans, do you know how easy it is to dress like your favorite player? Go to STLCardinals.com. You click on Shop for everything from player jerseys to T-shirts and caps. STLCardinals.com. Shop for all of your Cardinals merchandise. Happy 50th birthday to Terry Edwards from Kathy Edwards. Strike 2, Rivera.
Had a big inning on June 19th against the White Sox when he tied a franchise record with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs in the second inning of a 17-14 game. That would have been fun, huh?
Blocked by Matheny. What a play. Fans applaud that. We've come to expect it.
It's just a shame. A good block here, but I'm talking about the error. And there you see the technique, outstanding. So far out in front, it's hard to tell where that's going to bounce, and it seems like left-handers, it bounces a lot different than right-handers, particularly when they throw a breaking ball.
Sloppy defense tonight has hurt the Cardinals. 2 balls, 1 strike. They've made 3 errors. One by Suppan, one by Womack, and the error that we just talked about by Mike Matheny. 2 in this inning behind Steve Klein.
Probably was a slider they bounced, and that was supposed to be a slider that was up. So, and try it again. Try it again. Mike wants it. Mike wants it. sinker. Klein didn't.
Fastball misses outside. 3-1. Ruth Ann, Beth, and Gina from the Fox School family are here.
Hey, when's our next road trip?
Not soon enough. Cardinals would just one loss on that road trip.
You know, the Cardinals currently are 31-21, 10 games over 500 at home, and we're begging to go on the road.
It's been that kind of year.
Major League best, 36-17.
Runners at first and third for Wilkerson. 1 for 4 tonight. So 252 games without an error by Mike Matheny. Wonder how long that one will stand.
I bet Renteria kicking himself for not knocking it down.
High strike, and Klein gets a gift. Now Frank Robinson, let's keep a watchful eye on him. He didn't like some of those calls late in the game last night. Hall of Famer Frank Robinson.
Thank Frank for kind enough to sign a autographed ball from a golf tournament. It's going into a case with 8 other Hall of Famers. Display case of 9 Hall of Fame balls. That'd get you started on a collection, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners at first and third. Oh,
hit him.
Yep.
That got him good. Maybe in the arm. Wrist maybe. No calling for the trainer.
Now the base is loaded, and Klein does not seem to be too sharp.
Started to go into it, then he saw it where it was located, tried to get out of the way of it, and got him right on the elbow. Sometime tomorrow he'll get some feeling back in it. Right now he just walked into a hornet's nest. And they all stung him in the same spot right there on the elbow.
So the base is loaded for Endy Chavez. 2 for 4 tonight.
Jerry Morales, first base coach for the Expos. He had a brief stint here in St. Louis.
Chavez a start in center field tonight. Wilkerson moved from center to first. Grand slam last night was the difference in the game.
Not a lot of power from this guy, but lofty average with the bases loaded, and remember his speed.
Scott Rowland off the line, step or 2 in on the grass at third base. Hot shot, Renteria is there. Force play, nicely done. Keeps the game tied at 4-4. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Tie ball game.
It's not just about planning. It's about living. It's about offices nearby, where long-term relationships outweigh short-term gains. At Edward Jones, it's never just about investing. It's about knowing you and your dreams.
My every hope, my life, my world, it all begins with a dream.
Edward Jones, investing in you and your dreams.
Doggo and the Mets pay a visit to Busch as they face the powerful league-leading Cardinals. The battle begins Friday at 6:30 on FSN Midwest.
You ask me if it feels the same. Whoa. You wonder if it feels alright. Whoa. Sometimes it feels so far away. I never will forget it, and I will not regret it. Till yesterday's day forward. I'll try to keep my
Fuel is here. 24/7 action sports television. To get hooked up with Fuel, log on to fuel.tv or call 1-877-4-FUEL-TV.
Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Net was brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, saluting America's responsible drivers. Responsibility matters. By Chevrolet, 10 new models, 5 available now. We're doing some amazing things with cars and trucks. The new Chevrolet's an American revolution. And by SBC Yahoo DSL. Log on to STLCardinals.com and enter the SBC Yahoo DSL connection of the day. Luis Ayala will come into the ball game. Rivera will take over in right field for Montreal. Ayala, as we talked about last night, Al, has been one of the top relievers for Montreal. Really one of the top relievers in baseball last couple of months.
Well, he pitched very well last night. Retired Renteria and Pujols on ground balls.
Cardinals will have Matheny, Taguchi, and then back to Tony Womack here in the bottom of the 8th. Come on, Redbirds.
He was 10-3 last year with an ERA under 3 in 65 games for Montreal.
Matheny shoots it foul. 2-hit night for Mike. He's 2 for 3.
After coming out of the Mexican League, these are his numbers this year. 3-6, 1 save, but ERA at 2.31, and opponents are only batting in low 30s, but you saw that, what was it, 39 strikeouts to 7 walks.
4-4 game. Strike on the outside corner. Got a rain delay of 47 minutes tonight. Yankees come back. Final 11 innings over Oakland, 8-6. Alex Rodriguez hit a 2-run walk-off home run in the 11th for that win. That just missed on the outside corner. Baltimore over Seattle, 6-3. Texas over Detroit, 8-0. Tampa Bay beats Boston 5-4. That's a key for the wild card in the American League. Cleveland over Toronto, 14-5. Houston drops a game to Atlanta, 5-4. Mets over Milwaukee, 6-5. One other final to tell you about: Kansas City over the White Sox, 11-0. See the third baseman guarding the bag. That's Batista. We saw that last night. Tie game or a lead for Montreal late in the ball game. They'll back him up.
And the outfield is swung around to play Mike to the opposite field. Big gap out in left center. Truck's favorite location.
The 1-2 pitch. Ayala off the mound, can settle and throw. Wide throw, but Matheny retired. 2 for 4. So Taguchi will be the batter. Boy, the amount of people that you have coming to the Hungo Classic, you figure a guy like Kelly Chase would love to show up and be a part of it. Donate his time to such a worthy cause such as yours, Al.
He wrote me a 7-page personal letter apologizing because the invitation was extended, but he had further commitments out of town. And I fully understood that, Danny. I don't know what your problem is.
Kelly Chase, of course, at the ballpark and watching tonight as we have some fun at his expense. He might have had 1 or 2 of those. Taguchi is swinging a miss, 0-2 the count as we approach 11 o'clock here in St. Louis. Taguchi down the right field line. That's trouble. That is a fair ball. Boy, he can fly. There he goes around second. He'll stop, though, at second base. Was it a wise decision? Taguchi, a 1-out double.
Well, Rivera has one of the best throwing arms in the National League, the new right fielder. And just fair stays in play. So's going to be hustling. He learned a lesson last night. And he's got the play in front of him, so he'll check right there. Look at the third base coach, and Oquendo put the stop sign on. Look at your third base coach. Look at your third base coach. Now you look and he tells you to stop, and there's a reason why. Rivera, good throwing arm. He hadn't played a lot, but he's amongst the league leaders in assists.
Base hit could give the Cardinals a lead. Womack takes a ball low and away. Tony 1 for 4 on the night. You know, he would love to atone for the year last inning.
It was an unearned run.
Renteria on deck. Batista well off the line at third base this time. Even with the bag, you have to respect the speed of Tony Womack. He can lay down a bunt. Give Renteria a crack at it.
Bunting's a big part of Tony's game. Infield hits, chopping down on the ball.
Womack, chopper up the middle. Pedro has to be quick. Lets it loose. He's safe. First and third and 1 out.
Danny, that was a play, and it's a base hit, but Pedro respected the speed. He knew that it was when you get 2 or 3 chops and bounces in the infield and Tony Womack running, you have no time at all. You've got to field the ball and throw in one motion, and his throw was a little bit wide. The pitcher looked like he wanted to get it, and then he pulled his glove down. The throw was off, but just like he had to rush his throw, sets himself with no crow hop and doesn't have anything on the throw, and it's a little bit wide.
So now a chance for the Cardinals shortstop. Runners at first and third. Pujols on deck. Only 1 out. 12 hits now for the Cardinals. It's been a 2-hit night for Edgar. Renteria, ground ball. Is it a double play? 6-4-3. Double play. Ninth inning coming up. 4-4.
Don't wait for the future. Master it with a degree from Missouri Tech. Programming, electronics, networking. The fast-paced, hands-on training at Missouri Tech puts the future within your grasp today. Learn the skills. Master the technology. Behold your future. Call today, 314-569-3600 or 800-960-TECH or online at motech.edu. Master tomorrow at Missouri Tech, teaching the future today.
Every town has that one great mom-and-pop burger joint. In Sacramento, it's a place called Jim Denny's. It's no bigger than a matchbox, yet they serve up the thickest, best-tasting burgers around. Some say it's a grade of beef they use. Maybe that's why you can smell them sizzling from the parking lot. Good thing, too. With only 7 chairs in the whole place, that's pretty much where you'll be waiting. Hardee's Angus Beef Thick Burgers. They're as close to a mom-and-pop burger as a fast food burger will ever get.
It's an NL showdown when the league-leading Cardinals head to the Sunshine State. The defending world champion Marlins have the Redbirds in their sights. But can Florida slow the Cardinals' momentum? Or will the force of the Cards create a tidal wave of trouble for the Marlins? Cardinals, Marlins. Series begins Tuesday at 5:30 on FSN Midwest.
In baseball history, brought to you by Schnucks. Back in '85, Tom Seaver becomes the 17th player in Major League history to record 300 wins. Rod Carew becomes the 16th player in Major League history to amass 3,000 hits. This day in baseball history brought to you by Schnucks. Remember last night, Sho Taguchi with a liner to left. Well, couldn't make that play. Tonight, little smile on his face. He made it. How about this play? On a pop-up. There's your dance, Al, from Tavares.
In case you thought we were being hard, and look at Tony La Russa jumping on his pitcher. Nope, you don't do it that way. Now they can all kind of smile and laugh about it, but it's called let the sure hands people have it.
Chad Cordero will be the new pitcher, right-hander. 49th appearance. Franchise rookie record with 11 saves. So they'll bring in their closer with a tie ball game. You've got Pujols rolling in Edmonds. Due up.
Oh, he's seen action in 5 of the last 8 games.
So maybe you get to him here tonight.
2 innings last night for Cordero.
First pitch to Albert Pujols. He is a strike, 1 for 2 on the night. Home run last night.
He got the win last night. And you get another one. Get a no decision, or he can get something else.
Pujols didn't like it. In the hole now, 0-2. Light miss coming down here at the ballpark. 0-2 pitch to Albert. Ooh. Fouled straight back, and Cordero may have gotten away with that pitch. Nick Johnson takes over at first base. Wilkerson moves from first to left. Very tough 2-strike hitter is Albert Pujols. Lays off that pitch. 1-2.
Well, these guys have a little better look at him. I think last night was probably the first time they'd seen Cordero.
The 1-2 pulled off the dugout and into the seats here at Busch. Crowd of 35,779. Cordero kind of reminds me of Calero with that slider. Very deceptive.
Well, you know, the way he short arms the ball, the way he jumps at the hitter and kind of, you know, protects the release point. You know, he's a little more deceptive than you see some of these guys. And when you haven't seen him for a while, the ball probably gets on top of you a little quicker. And then you don't see that slider, which he's going to throw right now.
On 1-2.
Hung it.
Pujols into center. Gives it a ride. Yes! Albert wins it here in the ninth. 5-4 St. Louis on number 31. Rope into center. Tonight's Bud Light play of the game. Fresh, smooth reel. It's all here. Albert Pujols with a laser.
Hanging slider right there. Instead of down and away, it backed up on him, and it was a line drive to center and had just enough.
Midwest Sports Report coming up for our Bud Sports crew and Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Join us tomorrow at 6:30. Rubber game of this 3-game set. Albert, walk-off home run. 5-4 Cardinals win it. MSR is coming up.
For decades, millions of surfers have surfed hundreds of spots up and down the California coast. But throughout the years, one spot has earned the reputation as the center of surfing in California, Huntington Beach.